7:44 in Sparks. 7:44 a.m. in Sparks, Nevada.
Are we live there? It says we're live somewhere.
Oh, we are. We're live in class. Real class. In the real class. Yay! Hi.
Okay, not too bad. So make sure, let's see.
This is the only place that's live.
Okay. I don't know how to get back to the chat. I lost the chat. But I can watch the chat on another platform. But where'd it go? It was right here. How do I find it? I shouldn't push any buttons.
Well, not unless it's like a chat button.
That's very interesting. I think I discovered an issue we'll have to fix after this class is over with. Hello, guys. I'm so sorry. We tried to go live in classic form. My streaming software went crazy. Welcome to the class. We start a little early so you can get settled in, so you can hear us. If there's anything you need to edit or adjust as far as your volume or anything's concerned. And like me, I'm going to have to get chat somewhere else so I can see you guys. Not a big deal. I can do it right here. Well, I think I can.
Does anyone know if we need to be on YouTube for class and also have a different separate computer available on for Cricket?
It is best, but let me tell you what you can do. It's best to do that. But you can just use your phone or your iPad or something to watch me on video and use your computer or whatever you use for your Cricket. Like, just as long as you can hear me and kind of see what I'm doing, the best thing is probably just put your phone there and watch. And it's the same link. So,
and if you just want to watch, this will be available for you to go back and do after. You can watch it however many times you desire.
I don't know how I'm going to get the chat. Can you send me the link to the video? Because I don't have the link. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the link. So go ahead and get yourself settled in. You don't necessarily, we may or may not cut something. Like, this class is about design space, and I'll explain to you what that means. We may or may not cut. I don't have my machine hooked up because I don't plan to be cutting today, and I know that sounds crazy, like, how's this? But this is a design space class, and we go into design space so in depth because, to be honest with you, that's what you need to know. There's very little on the machine that changes anything, just blades. And even that is run through design space. So we will be talking design space, design space, design space.
They need to be signed in for design space.
Yes. You need to sign in. Go ahead and get to the design space page. So if you go to Cricut.com, if you've not set up an account, you got time to do it. That's why we come on early. If you haven't got your account set up, go ahead and set up an account. You don't have to have a subscription for this. You can do the free service. You're going to know design space so well today. So well. I hope. I know. I mean, I feel. Right now I got to figure out how to get to Facebook.
Do you want Vince's computer?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
His laptop? Then you can just set
That's a good idea.
a laptop
The
up.
chat was right there, and now it's just gone.
Every once in a while, I have some of those.
Every now and then, you're like,
I have an idea.
You'll have to send it to, let me see.
I have an idea.
I'm not going to be able to access it from him because he doesn't have the link, so let's see how I can get it. You may need to send it to him because he'll be signed in and I won't have to fight it. Yeah. Yep. Yes, I love technology. Do you remember that from Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes, I love
Not as much
technology.
as you see, but I still love technology. Always and forever. Is it sad that I know the whole song? We met in a chat room.
I'm also putting this as for Maymay, so he doesn't get this random Cricut link.
Ignore this. We're having issues.
Surprise!
I got the chat. Surprise, we're having issues.
Surprise, we're having issues. Good morning.
Okay, I can see your chat now. I'm going to put it in front of me here. I keep forgetting I don't have to have my tabletop.
You're not cutting.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not
Not showing my
crafting.
hands. Not showing my hands.
No hands, Mom.
All right, do me a favor, those of you who are here now. We're going to be answering questions using a number system, 1 and 2. 1 being yes, 2 being no. So if you've ever cut anything on your machine before, give me a 1. If you've never cut on your machine before, give me a 2. Let's start with there so I can kind of see who we're working with.
If you don't have a machine, give me a 3.
Maymay's in the wrong place. Should be here soon. God love y'all. Y'all are so used to it. It's so sad. Well, once again, it's in the wrong place. I discovered that I think I have to reset the stream key altogether.
All right. Orange juice
There's
is
a
so
1.
good.
There's a 1. That's a yes. It's good until later when the indigestion for me is unbearable.
I used to have that problem, but not anymore.
Sandy, no sorries, too. No sorries. Aunt Lolly, I'm shocked you haven't. I'm shocked. No worries. We're going to hook y'all up today. You'll be cutting by the weekend.
Even better. I got a 3. I don't have a machine.
Sandy's got a 3. If you don't have a machine and you're just watching today for prep, give me a 3. It'll help me. It'll help me know.
California, cold and rainy. It's cold here, too. I had to bust winter clothes back out.
I went half winter. I went sweatshirt material, 3/4 sleeve.
I even put tennis shoes on today because I had my sandals on yesterday and I about froze to death after I got off work.
A lot of 1s. So y'all cut. I want to encourage you. I'm going to say some of this stuff again when we get started at 10. I want to encourage you, if you have a question about your Cricut. Joe, the question was, give me a number 1 if you have cut on your machine, or a number 2 if you have not. If you have questions, you may have questions you want to make sure I answer in this class. And let me say this to you. You paid $20 to be here. You get your questions answered, okay? I don't even care if you want to submit them privately to Shannon. Like if you want to send them by email and I answer them later. If you want to send them by email now, she can toggle. You can say email sent or what. You don't have to say that. Just she can toggle and be checking if you don't want to ask. But look, every question is valid. Every question. Let me tell you why they're valid. Okay, because how you use your machine versus how somebody else uses their machine is completely different. And so you may have a question about something that somebody else is like, oh, that's so easy. But guess what? They'll have a question about something that you might think is oh so easy. So please do not be afraid to ask questions. You can at any time in the class type a question in capital letters. Now, Shannon won't be interrupting me the second your question pops up, but when I get to a point where we can answer questions,
I'll interrupt.
We'll go back and answer questions. We'll do question sections. So listen, the way we learn is by your questions. If we were in a real class, in an open class, it's real bad because when I can see your face, I'm like, you got a question, what is it? Like I can see it, right? But today you're gonna have to tell it to me. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're afraid to ask a question, give me a 1. If you're not afraid to ask a question, give me a 2. That's another thing. I want you to get used to typing. I will not make you type a lot, okay? What I try to do is get your answers with numbers, and the reason for that is even if you're doing something, it takes a second to hit 1 enter. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make it where you don't have to give me like a sentence answer because I want us to be able to keep moving. There's y'all ain't afraid? Mary. Oh, she might be answering the first question. The other thing I want to say to you is I ask you to set aside 3 hours for this class. It does not mean we may be here 3 hours. I just ask you to set aside 3 hours. This class is really a 2-hour class, but doing it live like this, I wanted to be able to give all the time in the world for questions. I want your questions. I want to answer them. I want you to leave here going, I feel empowered to use my Cricut. Now, we will take a break at the top of every hour. We will walk away for 5 minutes. We'll go potty. That allows my employees to ask any questions if they have any. At the top of every hour, we'll take a 5-minute break. So if you want to keep up with breaks. So we'll take one at 10. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
We'll take one at 11 and we'll take one at 12. And if you need a longer break, if you're like, my brain's got to rest, we'll do that too. We'll see how you're going.
Valerie wants to know, are we going to be cutting?
I do not. This is not a cutting class. A lot of people ask me that, but here's what I want to tell you. If you're here to learn one thing and you're like, ooh, I want to try this, you might want to cut. Like you might be like, I don't want to know the rest of the stuff. I want to do this. So you might want to listen to me like a podcast kind of thing, or use it as a reference for later and start cutting. You use this class for how you want to do it. This, I don't want to get too detailed because at 10 o'clock I'm going to say all this stuff again. I'm going to explain what this class will do for you. And I promise you this, you will get more than your money's worth. But in my opinion, the most important thing about Cricut is knowing how to talk to it. The machine itself, and we'll talk about the machine some, but the machine itself is not the problem. The problem is knowing how to talk to it. And Design Space is how we talk to our machine. And if we don't know how to talk to it, the machine can't respond. It's kind of like you got to learn designs. It's kind of like if you don't know, if your friend speaks a different language and you don't know their language, you could muddle around and figure it out. You know, you probably could figure something out to communicate, but knowing their language is so much easier, and knowing the language of the machine, it makes life easy. So I promise you, even if we don't make a single cut, I do not plan on cutting. I used to do that. Let me tell you. We used to do this class and we'd try to get a project cut. But what I found is everybody uses the machine so differently. It's more important for you to know what every button does and how it operates. You'll see by the time we're done. We'll see. So are you going to start writing questions? Because they're going to roll. That's another thing. You do have an update today and you're going to want to do it. So go ahead when you open it. You should have the new update. It's like to 6.6 and it's brilliant and it's wonderful and I'm so excited. And I need to, speaking of that, I filmed a video on the update and I need to go check the audio issue for Tamitha, so I'll be back before 10 o'clock. I'm going to go check my computer in here real quick. She says my audio wasn't right. Audio didn't record right, so now I got to redo that whole thing.
No.
Can you let Tamitha know that? I'll have to re-record it, but I'll do it this afternoon. It's like a quick little video. Oh, my mic was on, so you probably heard me say, "Oh crud," because I found it and I went, "Oh crud," it didn't work.
Well, I didn't have volume on, so they probably heard you say
You heard me go, "Oh crud." Good morning, everyone. We got one more minute and we'll get started. Beth, don't stress because you'll get to come back to this any old time. You'll have this, and if you come back in and out, that'll be fine too, or if it bleeps or whatever. Also, I want to let you know, we'll be taking our faces away when we get started because the cameras get in the way of what I'm showing you. So you can see us right now, but you won't see us in a few minutes. I got 10 o'clock. Welcome to Cricut Design Space 101 with Maymay. And today we are going to be going over Cricut Design Space from one end to the other. Okay. The reason for this is because no matter what machine you own, it is important that you know how to talk to that machine. Okay. And the way we talk to our machine is through Design Space. The machine itself is pretty much the same across the board except for blades, to be honest with you. and size with the Joy, because they did change the Joy down in size. But if you don't know how to use Design Space, and if Design Space is a frustration for you, then Cricut will be a frustration for you. Somebody said the other day, I read a comment, I thought this was really interesting. They're like, the only way to use my machine is through Design Space, and if I don't understand it, I can't use my machine. So a lot of times, and you may find this with yourself, the machine seems very intimidating, but to be honest with you, the machine just sits there and waits on you to tell it what to do. But Design Space is what really is where the intimidation should lie. Now, a couple things I want to say about Design Space. Number one, I love it. You may hear a lot of people bash it. I do. I see it, whatever. I think it's great. There's never been a project I haven't been able to do with Design Space, and after today's update, there's even more I can do. So you're not going to hear me bashing the product. I think the product's great. And one of the reasons I think it is great is because I don't like to reinvent the wheel. And there are some programs, not so much cutting machine programs, because I only know Design Space at this point, but like designing programs I can't use because they're too much for me. Okay, so this one is not. Design Space is not. There's some new updates. We'll talk about that. I'll show you that, and we're going to answer your questions. That's my favorite thing to do, is answer all your questions. My plan for today is to hit on every single function in Design Space to show you how it works and what it does. What I would like for you to do is, if you can save your questions for when we get in the function, that will really help so we can stay on topic. And then at the end of the day, if there's other questions you had, we can answer those at the end. Like if I didn't hit on those, that would be great. You don't have to stick to that, but it'd be good. All right, I'm going to turn our faces off so you can see my whole screen. What I need you to do, if you haven't already done it, is travel to Design Space. Now, the way I get there is I have the app. I have it downloaded on my computer, so I just click on the little Cricut head and open it up. But if you don't have it there, you can go to Cricut.com and open it up and click Design in the top right corner. So when you have Design Space open and you're ready to watch, give me a 1 in the chat so I can make sure. Also, can you see how many people are watching?
45.
Okay, so I just need to know how many to be watching for.
I'll keep you updated.
We also will be doing some giveaways today. We'll be giving away $25 gift cards. When we take breaks, we'll give away 2 $25 gift cards in the class today, to the store, to Maymay Made It. So we'll get to those too. Beth's there, Shireen's there, Michelle's there. I'm excited. I love Design Space. I'm going to try to stay very on target too, because I want it to be a very clear and concise class for you. Look at all my friends. I recognize like all of y'all. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, if you're watching the replay and you have questions that didn't get answered during this video, I'm going to ask you to email them to Shannon@maymaymadeit.com, and we'll be answering those questions for you through email. Okay? They may be video clips I film or whatever, but I'll answer those questions for you, because I know if you weren't able to attend, I still wanted you to be able to have, hands-on in the class. So just start writing notes, and then if you have questions, send them to me. I won't get to know how to use your machine. Very good. I think we're there. All right. So I forget you don't see my face because I'm going to be looking at the computer screen. I was going to apologize for looking away, but you don't see my face. This is Design Space, and I love it. Now, I will tell you this. I am using my desktop. If you're using your iPad, I have my iPad here with me because I want to be able to answer your questions if they're iPad related. For the most part, the only difference with your iPad is going to be the functions are in a different spot. They're the same functions, they're just in a little different place. So I will try to keep my iPad open to help you guys too with that, to kind of keep you on track with us. So let's look at it from the desktop. First, I want you to see, does everyone see that my cursor, if you see my cursor in the circle, give me a 1. My cursor will be circled by that little blue circle for the whole class, so you'll be able to see it. And I'll be using it a lot to kind of point where we're going. But while you're telling me that you can see my cursor, okay, yes, there is an update today. So you probably will have to do the update. And Beth, if you're lagging, you can drag to where we are now on your YouTube with the little red bar. All right, from here I'm going to stop answering questions in the chat. Now it's up to Shannon. So she'll be answering you just by typing. All right, so on Design Space, at the top right-hand corner, I want you to see this. This is the home page, okay? This is where we start That bar at the top, I call it my home bar. So I see the word home, and if I scroll to the middle, I can see that I'm signed in. That's where my name is signed in. And to the side, I can easily click to my projects. I can toggle my machine, or I can start a new project here. Here's the cool thing. Cricut gives you all different places to start things. So I can start a new project here. I can come down here and start a new project. I don't have to stay up there to do it or whatever. There's so many different places to get the job done. But that is your home bar at the top. Now also at the top, you'll notice this little hamburger. We call that a hamburger. Can you see that my cursor's at the very top left? I'm going to click on my little hamburger. You can too. So when you click on it, it opens up this panel, which a lot of people don't even look at. But the reason I want to tell you about it is because I think this panel is handy when you go to look for something. For example, you can get to home by clicking here. You can get to your canvas, which is where we build projects. You can get there from here. You can get to new machine setup from here. You can manage your custom materials. This is where you can literally go in and set settings for a material you use specifically. How awesome is that? Let's say you're a person that cuts out like felt, like that's your favorite thing, and you found a certain setting that works for it. You can go right here and manage that. You can update your firmware here. Now, let me talk about updates because I want to shed a little light on this. A lot of people get frustrated with updates, but I got to tell you something. An update means that Cricut is constantly making the program better. I believe in my heart of hearts that we would be more upset if we got no updates. For example, there's a game I used to play on my phone, and I played it until all the levels were done. And I kept waiting on an update and waiting on an update, and then never would update. And I got so frustrated, I just deleted it because it just went obsolete. The cool thing about Cricut is your design space is never going to be obsolete. They're constantly updating. So don't look at an update as a bad thing. Look at it as a good thing. They're constantly bringing you new things. So you can update your firmware from here. Most of the time, you don't have to go here to do it. Most of the time, when you open your app or when you open Design Space, it's going to go ahead and tell you there's an update. This is something cool I want to click on because I think a lot of you guys have questions but don't know where to find this. This is your account details. Now, I don't think this is going to show you my private information. It might. If it does, please do not share it. But I'm going to click on it. So this will take you can see Shannon over there in her little camera. Let's minimize that. This takes you to where you can sign in to your Cricut account. Okay, so I'm going to sign in. Please don't show my credit card. I'm going to sign into my Cricut account. And then, oh, my password's not wrong. Come on, let me do this. Put your password in, sign into your account. Why are you doing that? My password is right. How is it wrong? I just signed in this morning I'm signed in now. There we go. Okay, so I'm currently signed in. All right, let's update that password so I won't argue. So here you can see your order history. Y'all, this is really good, okay? You can see your order history, your profile, your address book, your payment settings. If you have a subscription service, this is real important. You can look right here to edit your subscription in any way or see how it's working. You can see that I have the premium access one and I can edit it right here. A lot of people don't know where this is, so this is why I like to point it out. You can set your email preferences for how they email you. You can save things for later. I don't really use that feature, but you can check that out. If you have cartridges linked here, and this is where you can register products. And I want to mention this to you because Cricut is asking that you register your machines because they're really trying to keep people, listen, there's nothing wrong with this. They're really trying to keep people from sharing their information and using it on multiple machines. That's so not right. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a login, don't share it with somebody. Don't share your subscription with somebody. I'm just gonna be honest, that's stealing. It just is, you know? So they're trying to get people to register their products. This is where you do that. And then if you have anything to redeem, you can do it here. I've never redeemed anything. But isn't this cool? This is where you go and manage your whole program, okay? So let me go back to Design Space where I was, and I'm gonna click back on the hamburger. So a lot of you probably didn't know you could get to all this stuff here. Now, if you needed to link a cartridge, if you have the Explorer Air 2, and then maybe even the 1, you can link cartridges.
How did they make it full screen? Is it like a normal?
On YouTube, they'll, at the bottom corner, then the bottom corner, there'll be like a little
I guess
blow up.
YouTube, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Cricut Access is here. You can click on it. I already showed you how you can manage your account. That's Cricut Access. Any settings you want to change, if you want to read anything legal, I never read that. What's new? This is really cool. You can come and read what's new. Has your country listed. There's a help and then a sign out. I want to go to help, okay? I want to show you something Cricut does, which I think is awesome. And this is another reason I think they're a great company. I'm going to click on help. When I go to help, look what happens. You have these quick start guides if you need them. If you scroll, look, quick starts on everything. See all this? Then if you scroll down, let me find it. Did I miss it? Was it at the top? For setting your machine, blah, blah. You can put in here for what you need help on. Okay. Let me close that little button out. And look, thank you for choosing Cricut. Let me know if you need help. In the bottom corner, you can click on that and you can chat. Isn't that awesome? You can chat, you guys. Now, it's going to start with like a virtual representative, but it will get you to someone else if you need it to. They also have a phone number you can call, but I love that about Cricut. I think it's awesome. All right, so back to the hamburger. I'm going to go finish up there really quick. I'm going to click on the hamburger and then the sign out. Now, why would sign out? Why would you care about that? Because you probably don't want to sign out. If someone's coming to your house or coming over and going to use your design space or use design space, they might need to sign you out and sign themselves in, like to get to their projects. So that's why those things are important. All right, before I come off of this menu, which we're going to call the home menu, the hamburger menu, do you have questions about the hamburger menu? Beth, if your homepage looks different, can you still see the home? Can you still see this little menu I'm talking about? And we'll get to the main page in a minute. And yours will look a little different because my projects are showing, is another reason. So if you have no questions about this menu, give me a 1. If we're all good, if we're all golden. I like that you call that the broken square. It is a broken square.
That's the best way I could figure out.
Oh, I have a 2. Is that a question? Michelle said, I've never clicked the hamburger. I hope today I show you a lot of things you probably never clicked or never realized. That's the point for today. If you have a question, go ahead and type it about the menu. I didn't realize how much information was in the little hamburger menu until I clicked on it to teach a class one day, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of quick get-tos from here. So I really, really like it. What's real cool about it is you really don't even have to go to Cricut.com anymore. You can just go here, and you can go to your account details. You can shop from there because eventually, it opens it for you. It opens Cricut for you, which is kind of cool. All right. Valerie and Joe. Okay, I got ones out of you. Okay. I asked the question weird. I know that was my fault. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to close the home menu out. I just click off of that. And now let's start at the top of the page. You're going to think some of this is overkill, but I promise you're going to want to know. This bar at the top of the page that is always changing, okay? It is where Cricut advertises new things to you, projects to you, holidays. It's going to advertise. It's their advertisement bar. But what's cool about it is you can click on these pictures. So let me go back to where it was. For example, this first picture, I'm going to click on it. I have to sometimes shake my cursor to keep the circle. I'm going to click on this first picture. You don't have to click in these spots. I'm just going to do it for you. When I do this, look, it's going to tell me all about Cricut Joy. Okay, so it takes me to that. I want to show you this. If I click on the mug press picture, see where it says Mugs Made Easy, Learn More? I can click there, and it will take me to their page all about the mugs. So if you're wanting to learn more about this, you can go right here to see it, right? I have not got a mug press yet. I don't know if I'm going to. It doesn't speak to me 100%, but we are talking about bringing mugs in, so we might make our own. I don't know. Look right here. Get 20% off materials on Cricut.com with Cricut Access Premium. So this is telling you if you sign up for Premium Access, which is the monthly access subscription, you get 20% off your materials, not machines, but materials. And guess what? They'll let you stack coupon codes. So you can stack my code on top of that and get another 10% off and free shipping on $50 or more orders. And Shannon's going to type my code in, but just to let you know, it is, I don't remember. Do you remember it? It's on the wall in the
It's
office.
what'd you ask?
She'll type it in and then I'll say
Give
it
me
to
a
you.
second.
So, and here you'll see machine sale. Anytime they're having a sale or anything, it's usually at the top of the page. Now, the next thing I really like is this section. I'm going to run my cursor across this whole section. Do you see these little arrows on the side? So these are your projects. Anything you've ever saved is right here, my projects, okay? What I love about it is Cricut pulls my projects out to the top. Notice how much they respect me. They put my projects over their projects. You see what I'm saying? And I love that. So you can come right here beside my projects and click view all. And I got to show y'all a new feature that I'm loving. I played with it this morning for the first time and it is so cool. Back in the day, meaning yesterday before I updated,
Back in the day,
you couldn't do this, and now you can. Used to, what would happen is you'd click My Project View All, and all your projects would open up, and it would just be 134 projects, or however how many projects you have. Now they've given us this Organize button, and I saved this to do this with you. Check this out. If you click Organize, you can organize all your projects into any file you want to. This is going to speak to Shannon's little heart. She loves organization, okay? So, for example, these two projects right here are for the Joy. I did them on my Joy. I know that's what I used them for. So I'm going to set a folder for Joy projects. Yeah. So here's what you do. Watch how easy. I'm going to click on the first project. And do you see that green box that comes around it? Love it. I'm going to click on the next project and another green box will come around it. And now I'm going to go to the bottom right and I'm going to say next. And when I do, look what it lets me do. Okay. Available collections. I've only made 2 collections. I did those this morning. I'm going to add another collection by clicking New Collection and typing in Joy Projects. This is brand new. Like, I'll be doing a video on this because I think it's awesome. And I'm going to click Create. And then I'm going to say Done. And watch what happens. Look over here to the right-hand side. Look, y'all. It just speaks to me. I love it. These are files I've shared in YouTube videos. That's important for me because I don't ever want to delete those because then y'all can't get to them. Joy projects live right here. My SVGs will live right here. I have not organized because, like I said, I just played with this morning. But how awesome is that? Pretty cool, right? So you can now organize your projects into anything you want. You can have your Christmas projects organized. And why is that important? Watch. Now if I click on Joy projects, all the noise is gone. It's just the ones I use for the Joy. Come on, that's incredible.
it is.
Right? I love it. Okay, let's look up here in the top corner. Let's say you don't know where your projects are. You don't know where you saved them. You can search in your, like if you had 100 Joy projects, you could search for a particular project up here in the search bar. And if you come back to collections, let me see how I go back. All my projects, if I click there, I can now search in all my projects. So let's see if I've got one named Vinny. Look, anything with Vinny, I can search and pull them up. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So I just wanted to show you guys that because I think it's super neat. So let's go back home to the page we were on. That is your projects. Now, one thing you can also set a thumbnail for these. Let me show y'all. You can go, is it here or is it here? Let me click this. If you click the little 3 buttons on an image, it always gives you like a menu inside, which is really cool too. Because here, look, I can edit the project details, edit the collection, so I can change it to a different collection, and I can save for offline, and I can also delete the project here, which you're going to want to know that delete thing because you're going to save a lot of stuff that you don't need later, and you can just delete it. So there's that. Let me see, if you click this little guy, what do we want to call this little guy? Like the map? I don't know what it is. Oh, the share button. You can share it to Facebook, to Pinterest, and you can copy the project link. Now, why is that important? Why would you want to copy the project link? Okay, so Shannon has a Cricut and she has Design Space, and I made a project and she wants to make it. This is how easy this is. I can copy this link. I can then go to Facebook Messenger. I can go to text. I can go to Instagram Messenger, wherever we're talking, and I can paste that link in, and you can then open it at your house and make that project.
That's cool.
Isn't it cool? I love it. I just love all these features. So I hope that taught you something you didn't know. That's super cool. So that's my projects. Now let's look underneath. This is another new feature, Top Video Playlist. Cricut has a YouTube channel, and a lot of people don't know about it. And the reason I know that is they don't have as many subscribers as you would think they would. I would think they'd have a bazillion subscribers. But they have a YouTube channel, and what they've done is they've brought those videos here for you. which is awesome. They do great videos, by the way. They're very quick, they're very to the point, very concise, and they're worth watching. So if you are looking for something like what is weeding, like some people don't know what weeding is. If you're a vinyl project doer, weeding is important. You can click this and it will take you to the video and show you a video about weeding. Let's look at their YouTube channel. You may think, I don't need to see their YouTube channel, but I want to show you the wealth of information that's available to you. It's important that you know. So, you know, Zoe Deschanel is their spokesperson right now. How stinking cute is she? Look down here, Cricut for beginners. Okay, all these videos are for beginners. Cricut machines and tools, all these videos are for all about that. International channels, look, they have Cricut in Spanish. They have an Australian and a New Zealand channel. They have a UK channel and a French channel. Come on, they're covering every base. They just are, and I love that. All right, so let's go back here. So those are new videos that are available for you. Now let's scroll down. From the community, okay? This is a new thing too. Cricut's really building this community up, which I think is fun. And I know you guys, you like community. You like to get to know people. And look, these people have set up their profiles. I haven't set mine up yet, but I will be. I don't know how yet. It's brand new, so I'll teach you guys in a video when I learn how to do it. But look, they've got their little profile pics in their name, and these are projects that they have made public that people can also make. Come on,
That's
right?
cool.
It's cool. So all these are available to you. And I want to show you something. See this little A? This is going to be important for the rest of the day, okay? Anything with an A means it's in your access. So if you have access, like I do, I have a premium account. If you have it, anything with an A means you can click on it and make it, and you won't have to pay anything at the end of the project. All right, look, now they have new Cricut mug press projects. Come on. I'm going to show you customization in a second, but look at this. They have more from the community that's recently added. They have creative cards. If you have a joy and you want to do your insert cards, look. And look, let me show you. Do you know? Okay. Who knows how many images you can get out of Cricut? Who knows the number? Who knows the over number? It's over so many images. Who knows what it is? If you know it, type it in. Those cards are available. Just click and go. Iron-ons for every occasion. And don't forget the arrow. It's not just the ones you see here. It's also this arrow that flies out. Okay? Oh, come back. My chat went away. Come back. All right, and then if we keep going, buy inspiration for infusible ink. And here's why this is important that I'm showing you this. Everybody doesn't use the Cricut for everything. I'm not an infusible ink user. I have not fallen in love with it. I don't have a problem with it, just not what I have my Cricut for. Now, if I get a mug press, that'll have to change. But for now, it's not what I lean to. But when I can find a Cricut Joy project for beginners by clicking and going, yes, please, right? So, since we're on the home page, I want to talk about that. Let's say you just got your Cricut Joy. It doesn't matter what machine. It can be any machine. But since that said Joy Projects, I'm going to scroll down here to it. And let's say you want to make your first labels. A lot of people love labels. So right here it says Dainty Desk Organizer. I'm going to click on that project by just clicking the picture. Okay? When I do, I want to show you what my options are. My options say I can customize this project or I can make it as it is. I also want to show you this. When you scroll on this image, you might not think to scroll. It tells you what materials you're going to need. It tells you everything else. This uses the Cricut Joy and some desk organizers, okay? It gives you preparation information. It tells you what you're going to be cutting, what you're going to need, how to assemble, and if you need more help. Are you kidding me? Come on. Do y'all know that Cricut offers all this stuff? Like, some people may not even know this is available to them. That's why I get pretty frustrated when people are like, they need to do more. I'm like, goodness, give them time. Who's building all this, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right, so let's say I want to do this. If I say make it, I'm going to click make it and watch what happens. If you say make it, it's just going to make the project you saw, okay? You'll see that it's going to ask you, let's say on a mat so I can show you. You'll see that it's going to show you what they had built, okay? But you may not need something for mints and paper clips and pencils. And you may want something different. So I'm going to cancel this one. And instead of just making it, I'm going to customize it. When you click customize, it opens up where you can make changes to all of this. Okay? So maybe you don't want pencils. You want something else. What you have to do is, come back, click on this, and I need to go down here and look at it. Is it grouped? it's attached. So we'll get into all that. So I would want to unattach this, change it. You'll learn how to do this in today's class, okay? So I'm going to go back. I don't want to do this. Let me go make it and then cancel. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to cancel. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to go back where we were. It didn't let me. I'm not going to be able to do that. We'll just have to go this way. All right, so let's go back down to it because I want to show you again. It was this guy. I also want to show you this. You can like this project. Let's say you don't want to make it right now. You can click like, and it says project added to my favorites in the project category drop-down menu. Okay, so I want to say that's fine. That'll go away. And I want to come up here and show you that, okay? In the category drop-down menu. Where's my drop-down menu? It used to be here, but it's not. I got to find it. Here it is. Okay, so you go to My Project, and you do this drop-down, and it's under your favorites. So see, I just starred that project, and now I can make it later. Come on, for real. I love it. Is it just me?
No.
Are you impressed, Shannon?
Yeah, it's like Pinterest for your Cricut.
It is like Pinterest for your Cricut, exactly.
Except it has all the directions and all you have to do is click it.
So what I love is you're I don't know, you're at the doctor's office and you're on your app, right, in the waiting room. And you're like, oh, I want to make that project. Like it, right? And then later go back to the projects you saved and they're all there for you.
You have 3 guesses on how many projects, or how many
What were they?
pictures. 100,000, 100,000, and 55,000.
Were all 3 100,000?
No, one was 55,000.
All right. The person who said 100,000,
You got 2.
it's over 100,000. So will you be mad at me if I say I want to send them a pen?
Well, you got 2 that have 100,000 guesses.
I
We
wanna
can send them a pen.
Okay, so we're going to send you guys a little Distress Ink pen, a lapel pen for getting it right. So Sandy Miller and Gail Driver, over 100,000 images in Cricut. And listen, when I started teaching Cricut classes, it was over 60,000, and I thought that was incredible too. So, all right, that is the home page. Now, we might have spent a lot of time on there, but it was pretty good. Let me show you something else. I'm still learning this whole community members thing. Here you can search community members. Let's get cute and search Melody Lane. Let me see if she's set up. I just want to see. Look, I found Melody. Shut up. Look, I can look at her mind blown. This is so cool, right? This is new. This is really new, so I'm excited about it. Look, so now I can just go to all Mel's projects that she shares on here, and I can make them too. That's so cool. All right, let's go home again. You can never go home again, right? I know, I'm a dork. Okay, so let me make sure I showed you everything on this page. If you have questions about this page, now's your time. Ask questions about this page.
That is cool.
Sandy, that's awesome. I'm so glad you guys participated. I appreciate it. You never know when I'll give away a little secret something. You never know. Any questions about the home page?
Sherry's saying she can't see anything of what we're doing on her devices. So I don't know, like, if her update didn't update or...
Can she not see the video, or can she not see what I'm doing?
I think she said earlier hers didn't look anything like yours.
Wonder why. You know what it could be? It could be the update.
I figured if it
And
was...
the reason I think that is because I know that this bar in particular, the playlist bar, is brand new. It wasn't on before. For the images, it was over 100,000 images. And we haven't even got to images. These are projects. Yes, Lolly, I can because it's awesome. Can you repeat how to move her projects to categories? So let's grab, let's go to up here on the screen where it says My Projects on the right-hand side. I'm going to click View All. This is awesome. I know y'all going to love this. And let's see, what do I want to categorize? Let me get a couple of things I can categorize. I think I have a couple of name tags in here. I know it. I'll do a category for the kids. All right, so I'm going to make one for stuff I've made for the kids. So like, this is for the kids. I made this for Thomas's basketball. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Okay, here's what you have to do. You have to go to the top and click the word organize. That's what you got to do first. Click organize. That lets Cricut know you're organizing, not opening projects. So if I come down here, I've got that project I made for Thomas. I saw some more. Oh, these are for the kids. This was for the kids. This was for the kids. So I'm just grabbing everything I made for the kids. This was for Thomas. This was for Jared. I'm just clicking through. Let's see. And this was for Joe. Can you believe it? Ginger Ninja.
I have a question while you're clicking.
Okay.
Oh, I lost it. If you go to a friend's site, is there a charge to copy?
Only if they use an image that you don't have access to. So if there's and we'll talk about that too. If there's a way you don't have access, then yes. Okay, so I've got all those selected. I'm going to say next. And now I can make a new collection. So I'm going to click new collection. And I'm going to type in kid projects. This is so cool. You can do grandkid projects. You can do everything. And I will click create. And now when I do that, I might not have pushed the right button. I might have gone out too quick. Let me do that again. I'm afraid that I did. No, I'm good. So done. That's what I should have clicked was done. Now look, on the right hand side, now I have a kids project and it's going to pull up. Oh, see, I didn't click it right. I'm not going to redo it, but that's how you do it. Okay. And then if you go back to all your projects and you click organize, you can add to all of those. So like if this was a Cricut Joy project, it's not, but if it was, I could click it and then say next. And then I can put it into my Joy projects by clicking here and say done. And now I've just added that to my Cricut Joy projects right there. It's just the big thing is make sure you click organize. Great question. Any more questions?
Let's see. Sherry said I can see your screen, but my devices can't find anything you are doing.
Okay, I believe you have an update to do, Sherry. So you need to close out of the Cricut app and then go back into it. Look, Valari, mind blown.
Lowry Me said could not find desk organizers you were showing even in a search.
What?
I'm at a version 6.6.
Are y'all on? Well, tell me what device you're on. That may be the difference because on my iPad you don't see the same thing. It works the same way, but on the iPad you have St. Patty's Day projects right now. See, on the iPad it looks like this. So it may be that, and we can just talk about it.
Yeah, it's just a different view.
Yeah, it's a different view, and I may have to show you how to get there a little bit differently. But it's still all there. It's just the iPad's always laid out differently. Let me say this. If you're on the iPad, when you open to the main page, if you'll tap on the categories drop down on the left-hand side, all these things I'm showing you are right there in categories.
Where would updates be found?
If you get to this homepage where I'm at and you do the hamburger menu in the top left, and then you can go to update firmware. Is that what I want to do? Nope, I don't want to do firmware. The thing is, when you open Cricut Design Space, if you're not updated, it will automatically update or tell you need to update.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like if you open your app or if you open Cricut Design Space on the internet, it will automatically do it. Okay, so she's on a Chromebook and an iPad. I don't know about a Chromebook. I don't know if that's different because it's a Google platform. I wonder if it does show different. The best thing is to look for your categories drop down. Yeah, try the update. I believe that will help. All right, if that's all our home questions, we're going to get into projects. This is exciting. All right. The way I like to make a project, a new project, is this button right here. I like this big old button because it's easy for me to see, so I just click on it. I'm surprised now let me tell you why it might not have automatically done it for you. If you already had it open, like I had to close my app out and reopen my app because otherwise it just sat there. When I closed it out and then opened it again, it did the update for me. All right, so this is Design Space. Now I need to do something. On my screen, all these little grids drive me insane. All these little squares and all this, it doesn't work for me. So I want to show y'all if it doesn't work for you too, then let me show you, okay? What you do is up here in this little corner between the 0 and the 1 inch, there's a little square. Used to, this was marked and we knew what this was, but now it's not. If you tap that little square one time, and I'm going to do it, it takes that grid away. Sometimes you have to press it twice, and I'll show you why. Do you see how it's got little tiny grids? Little tiny ones? If I click it once, it goes to blank. If I want my inch grids back, I can click it one more time, and it'll bring my inch grids back. This is kind of a hidden secret because there's nothing telling you it's there. It just is there, okay? But I want it to go away completely so you guys can have a better viewing experience. So I'm going to do that. So mine is all gone. All right. I want to start. This is where it always gets a little hairy. I want to start in this whole panel right here down the side. So when you're ready for me to start on this whole panel, give me some ones. Because I think that's where we'll get going. Sherry, when you come back, we'll be ready for you. Mind blown again. There you go. Good. It's like a little secret, and I don't like the grids. If I'm going to use the grid, I want the 1 inch and not the, I guess they're 1/8 inch. It's too much for my brain. I can't handle it.
Overload.
Mm-hmm. This is where it's going to get fun, and we got a lot to talk about. Here. Okay. I got a bunch of ones coming. All right. Let's start with number 1, templates. I'm going to give you opinions, and I'm going to show you what they are. Opinions are fun. I'm going to click on templates. Okay. This is going to be different on your iPad. Let me see where it will be. On your iPad, you'll click New Project, and it will be not on here, I bet. I bet it's not an option on the iPad. It's not. Okay, so we don't have to talk about it. On the iPad, you can't do it. It's useless. I'm talking to Shannon like we're friends here, okay? Here's why.
We are friends here for real, though, but
Here's why. Unless what I'm making is exactly the size of this, it's not really a template for me. For example, I'm going to click on this apron. Super cute, okay? But unless my apron is literally this cut, shape, style, etc., me building something inside of here doesn't help me. What a template is supposed to do is give you something on the screen to give you parameters. Well, I teach you to make your own parameters because your project's different. Like my apron may have a tiny bib and your apron may not have a bib, you know? So there's a whole different way to do this. I'm going to show you templates because I think some of you might be like, you're wrong, Maymay. I use them every day, and that's great. I just don't. So let me show you what it's all available. You can see here there's like athletic shorts, and there's another thing. I got one son that wears a 2X and one son that wears a medium. So like these are not going to necessarily be right, and it makes me nervous.
Yes.
If I were to make a logo for this, it might fit Noah and not fit Josh.
yeah.
You know? So I don't really care for the templates very much.
So it makes more sense to measure your own area, make a box, and make your image inside your box.
Exactly. That's how I like to do it. But I will show you this. If we scroll down and look, they used to, because I don't go in here very much. Okay, they do. These electronic covers and like the Cricut machine, these are fun. Okay, so like I click on the Cricut machine. It's going to bring up, what machine will it bring up? I don't know. I got to let it bring it in because it's taking its time. Come on, Cricut machine. Did I click off? Templates. Cricut machines. It's not refreshing. This is not refreshing.
This is not refreshing.
It's not refreshing. Come on. It's taking a minute.
Oh, Lolly says she uses the shirt templates and chooses the size from the menu.
You can do that. I'm just not, it's not my thing. I measure my spot because I want to be definite. Again, that's why I was saying it's an opinion. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not working for me right now, but if you click on machines, it'll bring up like a Cricut template. A file folder is pretty standard, right?
Yeah.
Your mixer, I'd be nervous about that. But that's just me. But anyway, here's these templates, and you're welcome to use them. Meaning, let's see if I get something to open. Let's do that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I got the lift mixer, which I think is bigger than the other mixer.
Look, templates are for, did you read that? Templates are for reference only and may not fit your project. So this is the window template. That's not even a great template. Y'all can't even see it. Let me go back.
see a window.
Yeah, you can't even see it. Let's see if it'll open the Cricut one now. I don't know why that one wasn't opening. It's literally not opening the Cricut one. Okay, we'll try the bears. We'll try this one.
The bars.
The bears. Okay, here's what Aunt Lolly was talking about right here. See how it says men's 3/4 length sleeve? You can change this to like whatever you need, men's, women's, or kids, and you can change the size. I don't trust it. Now, I'm glad it works. You can do custom sizes, which is cool if you want to change it. What I do instead is I measure out the space I'm trying to fill up, and then I fix it in that space, and then I just know. So anyway, there's templates, and you can play with those. again, they might be perfect for you. Something in here might work. I want to say they had cell phones, but I don't see them anymore. Maybe they've changed too much. They have laptop. All right, so in the laptops, I can do the drop down, and it just says laptops, and I don't even see anything there. I hate to glaze over it like it's not that important, but, oh, I'm sorry, Beth. I'm sorry. Yes, you want to click on new projects to get here. Yeah, Lolly measures as well. So now that you can, I mean, you can also do the custom, so that's probably cool for you too, Aunt Lolly. But to each his own, right? What does it do in belts? Does it let you do sizes? Look, it does, but only in like this, and I wouldn't know what Vince wore. Actually, I don't believe his size would be on here. He's going to be mad at me. Okay, so that is templates. If you want to use them, they're there for you to be able to build inside of them. Let's go to projects. We're going to click the second button underneath templates in this menu. So if you click on projects, this is going to take you to every project available. Let me show you why, okay? Over here in the right, it says all categories. That means every single category is open. And let me tell y'all something. You could spend days here. You don't want to be here for days, okay? So what you want to do, you want to go, Shannon, give me something you want to make a project for.
A cup.
A mug?
A mug.
All right, so I'm going to do this drop down and see if they have a place for mugs. They probably do, since they have iron-ons. Infusible ink, it might be there. All right, I don't see just cups in here in the categories, so that's okay. What I'm going to do is go to the search bar and type in mug. And look, this takes all the noise away. It's the first step of taking noise away, all right? It's the first step. This gets me generic, just mugs, period, okay? And it's going to be a lot of projects. Do you see all these projects? What I want to do is even narrow that down more. So let's say I want to make a heart mug. I don't know what's going to pop up. I haven't done this, but we're going to just see. So these mugs will have hearts or love. Well, actually not true. Look, these will. And once it runs out of them, it gives you the rest. You see what I'm saying? Like it's going to, that is so cute. Does everybody see that buffalo check? Squirrel. So like this mug.
Oh, that is so cute.
It is so cute. So these mugs are projects.
Squirrel!
Like I showed you before. Matter of fact, let me like it. Because if I do get a mug press, I'm going to want to do that one. So if you see you have those same options as before, if you click on this, this is going to be a project that tells you what you need and how to use it. You can customize it, you can save it, etc. Another cool thing here is it shows you what images it uses. Isn't that cool? All right, so that is projects. Let me click back on projects again because I want to show you what else you can do from here. In that same menu, if you go to the categories, you can really narrow this down, okay? You can go my projects, your favorites. You can go to ready make projects, featured projects, the Cricut community. This is going to be cool now the way they've done it. I'm going to click on this. I've not seen this yet. We're going to see this together. Since they have let us do these profile situations, this is going to be cool. Now you can see projects people are sharing. These are projects people are making and sharing for you to use. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so that's how you get to all these different projects. You can get to Cricut Access. I'm going to click on that. So this means things that are in Cricut Access. If you click on that one, if you come down here, let's say you need to make something for a baby shower, baby and pregnancy. And this is one of those times I would tell you. So maybe you're wanting to make a onesie. So you've gone to the baby pregnancy category, and now let's type in onesie. And, oh, I can't spell it, maybe? Is it not called a onesie? I didn't put an E in it. So look, now it'll pull up onesies. So you're not looking at mobiles. What are they called? Mobiles. You're not looking at mobiles. You're not looking at rattles. You're not looking at bottles. You're looking at onesies. You see? Because if you're like me, you can get lost in this and spend all day going, ooh, I want to make that. I want to make that. I want to make that. Right? All right. So that is projects. Now, one thing I want to say to you, let me go back this way. If you've come to make, you don't have to find your project on that home page. You can come in here, start a new project, come to project, and go get one of your own projects from up here, just from here. So you don't have to go to the home page. It's really just a landing spot. All right, any questions on projects? You won't have questions on this, probably because we've gone over projects pretty good. Cricut Access is not free. Cricut has images that are free. let's look at that. All right, let's go to projects. We've got all categories in here, and let's go to this free category. You see where it says free? If you click on free, it's going to pull up things that are free. That A means I can use it with my access, but if you don't have access, it's just going to say it's free. Does that make sense? Because it's free, which means I can use it in access, but it's free even if you don't have access.
Okay, so if you're not subscribed to Access, how do you find a free project?
Okay, so we go to projects. Let's go back. That's great. We go to projects, okay? We go to categories, this drop down in the top right, and we choose the free category. And so when we click on free, to me, it's better to do this than to type free in the search. I found when I do free in the search, it even brings up things that say the word free, and that's not necessarily what you're looking for. So I'm going to click on free again. And now these items are free. What I was clarifying is that A does not mean you have to buy it. It just means it's free. But it also means I can use it in my access. I don't know. It's confusing. But look at all these free projects. You want me to scroll to the bottom? We don't have time. Or maybe we do. Maybe it stops there. I thought it'd be more than that. So these are free. And what's really cool is like that mug design is free. A no limits t-shirt design, and you can customize these too, but if you customize them and you want them to be free, you have to use free images. Okay, so those are your free projects. All right, let's go back to projects one more time. And was that all the questions on that?
I think so.
The green does mean paid subscription. I believe, but I cannot tell you this for sure, if I did not have access, I believe that A would not be there, but it would still be a free project. I think. I don't know that for sure. It may be there anyway because, see, most people who have access don't go look for the free projects. We look for what we can use in access. And because it's free, we can use it. So they may just have it marked that way because it works both ways. But the A does not mean free. Let me show you how the A works. Let's go to all projects. The A, and I want you to see how many things have an A on it because it'll probably take me a minute to find something that doesn't have an A. All those little A's mean if you have an access subscription, they call their subscription access. If you have that, then you can use them. Have you seen one without an A yet?
Mary McWright said it says at the bottom $6.94 are free with access. And Joe said they're still there and I don't have a subscription.
Okay, where does it say that?
I don't know if it was at the bottom of the project.
That's interesting.
But she just said at the bottom it says $6.94 are free.
The one I clicked on said that?
I don't know.
It might have. I'll look. It was this one.
Mine had, Michelle says hers have an A, but it says $3.95 are free with Cricut access.
The free projects.
And as Lolly said, the savings Cricut access gives on ordering from their store more than pays for it.
So
I'm wondering if it's not showing you because you have it already. But
look right here. Drink free. Oh, no, not there. I'm subscribed, but it shouldn't. You should maybe. Okay, let me do this. Maybe because I'm signed into my access, you guys click the free category and see if you see something different than me. Because you should see your free projects there. Cricut does have free projects. Because I used to use them because I didn't get access when I started. And let me say this to you. It's like Aunt Lolly was saying. By the way, that sounds like she's my actual aunt. She's my, Texas aunt.
She's adopted aunt.
She's an adopted aunt. I don't want to make it sound like my family's telling y'all to do this because she is family, y'all are all family. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it's like she says, the value for access is so worth it. I never have complained about paying every month because I use it. It's awesome.
Michelle says the free ones are free, but not all of the A's are free. So I guess there's some A's that are free.
I don't know how to explain it.
And some that are not. You're just going to have to see if you don't have access,
Yeah.
what you click on and
Search.
what it lets you have.
Search around.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get out of projects because we want to move to this, images, because it's very similar. Okay, the difference in projects and images is this. A project is a complete project that you can make or customize, like we talked about before. An image is an image you can use to create your project, okay? So what's a project? Let's say we want to make an Easter basket. Maybe we want to put some eggs in a basket. Let's be easy, right? So there's an egg right there. So here's what I would do. Oh, this is so cool too. Let's start on this side before we do that. So you see here, if I go right here, I can click on this A and it will show me the items that are in my access. Okay. But I don't want to do that. I just want to see all of them. I don't want to just filter that way. I can click here to see project types. So if I want to make a card, I can click there. This is where you filter. If I want to see phrases, if I want to see 3D images, if I want to see large mug press designs or small mug press designs, if I want to filter it by operation type, meaning if I want to filter by a cut image or a draw image or a cut and draw image, if I want to filter by image complexity, like a simple image, a moderate image, or a complex image, I would totally go for simple images every time. If I want to do it by layers, if I want to do it by ownership. Now listen, this means things that I have uploaded, things that I've purchased, things that are free, or things that are downloaded. So let's click on free and see what happens. You should be able to go in and filter by free. Okay. I used to could do that all the time. That's how I got them. Let's say I want to do it by brand. Now this is interesting. You guys see all the brands? I want to tell you this. Even if you have Cricut Access, branded or licensed items are not in your access. Now sometimes one of those artists might give you something, like it might be included, but for the most part, if you see a branded image like Disney, let me take free off because that's not going to work. Like if you see Disney, you're going to have to pay for these. They are licensed images. And in order to use them, you've got to pay the license fee. I also want to say this. That does not mean it makes them commercial use. It does not, you know what I'm saying? It does not mean that they automatically can be used for commercial use, because unless it specifically tells you that you're buying a commercial license, you're not buying a commercial license. You need to be very careful about that. Disney is not a fan of you taking their images and selling them. I understand that, so be careful. A lot of people aren't. All right, if you want to filter by material, say you want to work on something with vinyl or iron-on or paper or cardstock or infusible ink, or if you want to filter by language, which is really cool. Oh, that's cool. Look at that, ASL. That's cool. Okay, let me click off of that. So those are filters that you can add. Over here we can search images. Let's search a basket. Take these off because they drive me insane. Okay, so here's some baskets, and look at all the baskets. Look at all the baskets. They're so cute. I want to find one that I really want to like show y'all how to work with. One that will kind of be a problem, so I can show you how to fix the problem. Let me see. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Then it's going to be shaped like a YouTube stream key.
Here we go.
Ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's, can I? Maybe? I don't know. Let's find a basket. Let's go back up. This is my problem, y'all. I can spend all day looking at projects. He's a little too simple. Let's do this guy. Okay. Now let me show you what's going to happen. I've chosen this image. I think I want to use it. Okay. I'm going to click it. When I do, you see the green box goes around it. And my favorite thing in the world is it shows me a tiny icon of it in the bottom right-hand side. Why is that my favorite thing in the world? Let me show you. Like I just told you, I can spend all day looking at images. Okay. So if I go, oh, I might want to use this one and click it, it throws it down there to the little bar. Okay. Oh, wait, I might want to use this one. Click it, it throws it down there to the little bar. All right. So not only does it keep it right there, but I can go back and do another search. Now let's say I want to look for eggs. Okay. Those will stay at the bar. They're still down there. And let's say I want to use, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. The reason is I like these eggs. I don't care for the words, but I like the eggs. So I'm going to click on this and we'll talk about that. See what it did? It threw it down here as well. Okay. So basically it's my thinking spot. Okay. Or my shopping cart.
Please.
So it's holding these items for me. So now I can go back and go, okay, I know I only want that one basket I chose. I don't like those other two. So watch what I can do. I can hover over the things I don't want. And do you see the red X? If I click that X, it takes it out. So it won't go onto my project. I'm going to do it again and get rid of this one. So now I just have the two images I really like. Isn't that neat?
That is That's cool.
So when I go to put this into my project, everything won't come with it. That truck is stinking cute. I don't know. We might use something out of there, so I'm going to stick it there. So now I have these 3 images that are going to go onto my canvas. So I'm going to click import. What does that say? Import images. I took my glasses off.
So say I can't read it.
Now, look what happens, okay, when I bring these images in. Don't get lost in the black hole, Wally said. When I bring these images in, they are all grouped together, okay? That can be frustrating. If you don't know what happened, you're like, why are they all grouped together? Don't panic. Here's what we're going to do. You're just going to click on the screen. And when you do, now you can grab them individually. So now you have all your projects, but I need to show you something else. When a project comes in, and we'll set these like this. This is a very layered image. This little chick right here. I want you to look over here to a panel that's very important with your images. This is your layers panel. This whole section over here. So I'm going to click this little chick. And when I do, all these that are gray are all of the layers that belong to that chick, y'all. That's a lot of layers.
Chick.
It's a lot of layers. Holy chick is right. It's what she just said. If I click on this truck, I want you to watch what happens in the layers panel, okay? I'm going to click on this truck, and it goes up here to 1 layer because that's a black 1-layer image. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to show me that it's just these few layers. Do you see that? Does it make sense? So we'll get to this, but we can edit these layers from this layers panel. That's the point of it, okay? So we've got a basket, We've picked some images. Now let's look at this. Let's say I want to add my own text. I want to finish this bar out before we go somewhere else. Let's say I want to add my own text. I'm going to click on text, and we're going to put Happy Easter, y'all, because I like to say y'all. All right, so when I click on that, I just typed that in. I'm going to bring this and just sit it down here. That's how text works. You just click text and type, okay? I know you don't love the look of this text. You never love the font that it chooses, okay? And the reason I drug it down here on the bottom of my screen is I want to show you this. With this selected, when I have this image selected, and I know I do by the little box around it, okay? When I go up here, I can change the font right here. If this is not selected, it's not there. That can be frustrating for people. You can be like, where do I change the font? I know there's a place to change the font. You have to have it selected, okay? So you're going to click the words, and then it comes back. Can you see how that can be frustrating?
Yes.
It can, because it can feel like it's hidden from you. All right, so let's change the font real quick. You're just.
It also makes sense because you have 4 different things on your screen. So if you don't have what you want to work with selected, it's not going to work.
You
It
got
doesn't
to
know what to do.
talking to your software and talking to your machine. You have to tell the software, I want to work on this guy, okay? So working on our text, we can go right up here and we can work on we can change it in here. Now, since we're at text, I want to talk to you about a bunch of stuff in here. This is so important. I tell you what, it's 11 o'clock, right at it. Why don't we take our potty break and we come back to text? Because text and fonts are huge. You're going to want to know all about text and fonts. So let's draw for our first $25 giveaway. And that question is great, Net. We're going to answer that question. We'll answer that when we come back. We'll start with your question. And then we can go potty. So she's going to draw for our first winner. And let me tell you how we're drawing for winners. Shannon has all of your names, all the roll listed, and you do not have to be present to win. If you bought a ticket, you can win. So she has all the names from this class listed, and she's going to do a random.org to pick the number. So tell us the number and then count it down to the name.
All right, we are on number 37 we have 75 in the class, just so y'all know. Number 37 is Michael Ann Lowry.
So Michael Ann, if you're here, you just won a $25 gift card to Maymay Made It. If you're not here, we'll be emailing you to let you know you won it, and then we'll hear back from you. Aw, thanks, Michelle. I like to do door prizes. I think they're fun. All right, let's break for 5 minutes, and I will see you back at 11:05. I'm going to take my first potty break. TMI, y'all. Let's turn our mics off.
Turn your mic off. I'll save them that much.
That would be a horrible mistake. That's funny. You're like, she's not pottying. She's washed her hands.
congratulations. I have you written down, and we will email you, Michael and
Tell me the rest of your situation right there. I put a template image on my canvas. Will it not come off? Sometimes that happens. If that's the case, you could just go home or start a new project. Did you guys hear? We've got 3 minutes. Did you guys hear we're reopening our store in May? And I realized today that it's on my birthday. I'm sorry, let me put my face back on so y'all can see me. I realized today it's going to be on my birthday because that's the first Monday in May. And so we'll be opening on my birthday. I think I may have to have a party. I think it'll be fun. I think it will be fun. Everybody's so excited. Everybody is. And I can't wait for y'all to see it. I hope y'all been kind of follow me on Instagram. It's so easy to share things on Instagram. And I posted that we put some buffalo check wallpaper up and stuff like that. We're so excited. We're so excited. Don't worry, I won't run over the 5 minutes. I do not want to waste your time. We have a lot to learn. Can you guys see there's a lot to know about Design Space? A lot. And honestly, knowing what I'm showing you today changes your whole experience versus the machine. The machine is not intimidating. Is that me ringing? It's Vince's computer, y'all. Why is this computer ringing? Okay. I don't know. Shireen, our new vlog address is maymaymadeit.info. So it's maymaymadeit.info. When do you think you might be able to host an event in person? I'm not sure, Ann, but I was talking to the Made It's this morning, and they were like, maybe we could start with some small classes, or maybe we could rent a space and have small amounts of people in the class, like, so we could really spread out. Although I'm interested to see what the CDC is going to say, because they're talking about letting students, and this may be because children don't get it the same as everybody else, but talking about letting students be 3 feet apart. And if 3 feet apart is the thing, but it'll probably be masked and 3 feet apart. I don't know. We're ready. Like, so exciting. So we are excited. So as soon as I can, I will. The minute we feel comfortable with it. The minute. All right, we got 1 minute left. 1 minute. I hope you're learning a lot. And I feel like you will. I feel like a lot of times I feel like a lot of times Cricut machines get a bad rap because people don't know the software. Like, I was telling this little story yesterday. My mother-in-law, God love her, it is not her fault, okay? She had the same washing machine for 30 years. Like, it was probably not 30 years. She had the same washing machine forever. And she had to replace it. And she had to get a more modern machine. And she's had it for 2 years, and I've never heard her complain. And this week, she started complaining about how awful it was. And like I said, she had it 2 years. And I realized she doesn't know how to use it. And it's awful to her because she can't use it. And that I understand. If you can't use it, it's awful. So we don't want you to not be able to use it. We want you to be able to enjoy it. All right, I got 11:05, so I hope you guys are all back. Give me some ones when you get back and seated. I'm going to turn my face off, and we'll go back to the screen. Yay, Shireen. Yay, I hope we keep learning. I hope we keep learning a whole lot. So give me some ones. I'm afraid I'm not going to remember. Don't worry, make notes, but you have access to this video forever. You can come back at any time.
Sorry, I was talking.
It feels like lunch, doesn't it? I'm feeling it. Lolly, you are a sweetheart. I cannot wait to hug your neck again. It's been so long. Ugh. Sherry, if you need your update on your iPad, close out your Cricut, and you need to make sure when you close out the app, do the swipe up on your iPad so that you actually have to swipe it up and close it out, and you need to reopen it fresh, and that should make it work. I'm sorry, Beth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, let's go. Let's talk text. This is a fun one, y'all. It's a fun one. So, oh no, I said I would start with that question. I said I would start with, I got to scroll back.
It was
Netware.
Yep.
When you save images, are they in the cloud or on your computer? Okay. When you save images on a computer with Design Space, it saves in Design Space. I do believe that is cloud software. I don't understand the cloud very much, but it saves in Design Space. It does not save to your computer. Okay, so you have to travel to Design Space to find it. On your iPad, in the app, it's a little different. You can save a project in the cloud or on your iPad. It's a little different. But all that means, but let me tell you what that means. It still means you have to open Design Space to access it. It's not saved in your like photos or files. It's saved on your iPad in Design Space so you can access it on your iPad. Okay, but none of this saves directly to your computer, which I think is one of the reasons we're talking about uploads and stuff like that. But I don't know the cloud very well, so I apologize. All right, so I've clicked on text. All right. Up here in the corner, you see I have font, style, font size, letter space, line space, alignment, curve, and advanced. This whole bar has to do with your text. I love this bar. You're going to love it too. Matter of fact, let me go back. Let's say I wanted to edit this text. I wrote it like this and I want to edit it. I'm going to click it, but I'm going to double click it. And when I double click it, do you see that box that pops up above it? That lets me edit. You technically aren't typing where your words are. You're typing in this box. So let's say I want to make this 3 lines of text, because that'll help me show y'all a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to, at the end of each word, hit return, and it makes it 3 lines of text instead of just the one I had. Okay. Also, this works everywhere. I want to go ahead and talk about this now. These little buttons, anytime you see these buttons, they always do the same thing. So here's what they do. This little guy stretches your image. It stretches your image proportionately if your lock is locked. You see that little lock? If that lock is locked, it will stretch proportionately.
So the left-hand corner is a lock?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
And if it's locked, your left and your right move at the same time. This is important. You like that feature, trust me.
We like lock.
You like the lock.
We don't like lopsided.
Especially where fonts are concerned. Graphic artists will tell you don't distort a font. Like no one should distort a font. Here's what I mean by distort. Watch. If I unlock it and I grab this now, what would that be? 4 arrows, because it changes from the 2 to 4. If I drag it now, watch what happens. It doesn't keep it proportionate for me. And no one wants a stretched font. It doesn't look right. You see?
Not yet.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah,
it doesn't look right. So if I've done this by accident, let me tell you how you fix it, because you will never be able to put that back in place. You will never. You go right up here to the top right, and this is your undo arrow. You have an undo and a redo. So I'm going to click undo, and that will undo what I just did. So with fonts, you want to keep that guy locked, okay? But with this truck, you might want to stretch him tall. I don't know why, but let's say you do. So you unlock the lock and you stretch him down. Maybe you want him to look like that for whatever reason, okay? Now, you don't need to know what I'm fixing to tell you, but I'm going to tell you because it's there. It doesn't, all you need to know is this little lock exists when you click on an image. Everyone has that little lock, okay? But if for some reason you wanted to know this, if you go to the top of the screen where it says size, the little lock right there will do the same thing. So you can unlock it here or lock it here just by clicking it. You see what's happening to my little box? So Cricut always has a way to do things in multiple places. Has this come in handy for me? Actually, yes. Because there has been times when I've been like, oh, I want to resize this, and I forgot to unlock with my cursor here, and I was already up here to type it in. And clicking that little arrow, that little lock does come in handy. I don't have to go back down here and back up there. Okay, let's play with this stuff. First off, I don't like that font. I want to change the font. So I'm going to come up here. Now, in changing the font, it's important that you know something. What are you doing with this font? This is so much to know. Am I going to write with this font? Am I going to cut this font out? Am I going to print with this font? What am I doing with it? Today, I'm going to write with it. I'm going to say I'm going to write with it because I think that's the thing that's the hardest to learn. If you're going to write with a font, you have to make sure it's a font that will write. This font in particular is the Cricut, let's look, it's the Cricut Sans font. The information underneath it tells you a couple of things. Number one, it tells me it's included in my access. That's what the A means. And it says that it is a single layer cutting writing. This one tells me that I can write with it. That means it's probably going to be a bubble letter. But it tells me it can cut and write. Okay? If I go underneath it, do you see this one is in my access? It's a single layer cutting font. It only cuts. Now you're like, you mean I got to read every one of those before I pick it? You do not. I'm going to show you what you can do. You can filter your fonts, which is awesome. Okay? So we're going to go to the top right, and I'm going to filter my font by writing style. But look at my options. I can filter by my fonts, which we're going to get to in a minute. I can filter by multi-layer font, which means if I want something that is a word that has a layer behind it, okay? I can filter by single layer, which means it's a single layer font. I can filter by writing, and I can filter by saved for offline. I've never used save for offline, but I think this is a font that you have. I don't really know what that one is. Does somebody know if y'all use that one? I don't ever use that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to click writing. Now, when I click writing, I want to show you what happens. All of these now have the word writing in them. So it's done that for me. It just filtered out anything I couldn't use. The reason that's handy is you don't want to find a font and fall in love with it and then go, oh, it's not a writing font. We've done that. So we're going to scroll through. One of my favorites, which I usually have trouble finding, was that it right there?
Can you add more fonts to Design Space?
We're going to get there. You certainly can, and we're going to get there.
Hold, please.
Is it Isabella? What's that font I love so much?
Oh.
Every time I use it, y'all ask about it, so I'm going to see if I can find it. I think it's Isabella. My dear John.
My first fancy sunglasses were Isabella's.
Emmeline.
Emmeline.
That's the one we like so much. So I'm going to click on Emmeline, and look what's going to happen to my text. It changes. See that? But, y'all, I got to show you something else. I'm going to show y'all something really cool, too. I'm going to scroll. By using my mouse, I can scroll the screen up, and I want to show you this. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can zoom in and out. You guys are going to love this feature. I want to be able to see this tighter, so I'm going to go right here to the plus arrow and click, and it's going to make this huge so we can see it, because I need to be able to see, y'all. I'm at that age. I can't see from far away.
What are you talking about?
So let's look at some things that are wrong with this. Number one, all my letters are beautiful, but they're all separated from each other, and I don't love that. Also, my lines really are too far apart. I want them to be closer together. So let's work on that first. Well, I need to tell you this. So that's font. See the style? You can change it to regular, italic, bold, bold italic. It's already a writing style. If you want to change any of those, you can. That's just there for you. If you know the font size you want, you can change it here. Let's talk letter spacing. So this is my letter spacing box. These letters are 1.2, whatever order, whatever they measure in, apart. Okay. So I'm going to click the bottom arrow. Sometimes a font, by just clicking this drop arrow, will come together nicely. Let's see if this one will. So I'm going to click this drop arrow. And this one is looking good. Oh, no, it's not. I'll show you why. All right, I'm going to go back here. Now, let's point some stuff out. Let me zoom even more. Okay. This Y looks great, right? These P's did not connect. The A and P, the H just got a little bubble. I don't want that, okay? Down here, we're not all connected. So just using letter space is not going to get the job done for me. I've got to go one step further, okay? And what that step is, advanced. Don't be scared of advanced. It just means it's advanced options. So I'm going to do the drop down for advanced. Here, I can ungroup the letters or I can ungroup the lines. If it were a layered font, I could ungroup the layers. I want to ungroup the letters, okay? Now, this is where I want to show you something really important. Doing this on your iPad is difficult. I'm not going to lie about that because using your fingers to scoot them together is difficult. But I use my arrows on my keypad. So if you guys have a keypad and can use the arrows, it makes life a little easier. And sometimes it doesn't make it at all easier because sometimes they jump too far. So let me show you. What we just did was we separated all those letters out. Do you know how we can tell? Look over here. Our words went to a whole bunch of letters. See them in our layers panel on the right hand side? They're all letters now. So I'm going to click on A. I'm going to try doing it with my arrow. I'm going to arrow over to the left and see how it went too far. So that didn't work. So I'm going to have to click this letter and drag it into position. And this is why zooming in is great, okay? Because I can zoom in and make sure it's right. Now I'm going to take the P and drag it into position. And now I'm going to take this other P. Actually, since these lined up so well, I'm going to select both of these at the same time. And let me show you this. With my cursor above, I'm going to click on the blank part of the screen, and I'm going to drag down till it touches those two letters, and it will select them both for me. You do not have to make sure you get everything in a perfect box to select it. Just drag and touch what you want to select. Now that I've got them together, I can move them at the same time and bring it over. That looks pretty good. Now see the difference? This is what we want. We want a neat, clean, added together image. And before I go anywhere, I want to group these guys. Okay? Ooh, good idea. Has anybody tried using the Apple Pen when doing something like this on your iPad? I've not tried it, but I will try it. So I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to group them together just so I don't accidentally sling them around. Okay? So now let's do these guys. I'm going to click and move it. And I'm going to click and move it. Click and move. Oh, I got the wrong letter. Let me get T. The T doesn't connect. And that's okay. I keep getting the wrong letter. The E. I do this all the time. But I do have to show y'all something else. This is not too bad. Okay. So, I got to show y'all something we did one time that was kind of funny. Me and Amanda did it, and we didn't realize we'd done it till after it was through. That S is not going to line up perfect. All right, let me show you something. If that bothers you, this little button right here is a rotate button. It's the same on every box, okay? You can take this little guy and click it, and you can twist it and line it perfect because I'm that person. So you see what I did? By twisting it, I got that to line up right. Did that make sense? I hope it did. Okay, now I told you that I'm grouping these. I'm going to group this one, and I'm going to group this one. Okay. Now, as a writing situation, this is fine, okay? If I'm just going to write with this, we don't really have an issue. This will write, okay? But if I'm going to cut this, where I lapped these over each other is still a cut line. Does that make sense? It is still a cut line. I have not told it that I want to cut this out. It is for writing. If I want to cut this now, since I have separated them and moved them and blah, 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 I'm going to have to weld this together to get rid of those lines. But it's easy. You just go weld. That sometimes happens. I hate when that happens, and sometimes it does. So I'm going to undo this. Since we weren't talking about that, we'll talk about that in a minute about weld and all that. I picked a writing font. You're not going to run into that on a writing font. You're going to run into that on regular fonts because they're made for cutting. This one's not made for that. It's made for writing, so it doesn't want to do the function. But you see now we got these all together. Now, because we turned these into an image, I'm sorry, my finger went crazy. Because we turned these into like an image, they are no longer, when I click on it, I no longer get my font options. Do you see that? Because now I've separated them, I put them together and grouped them. So my font, I can't change the font anymore. Mm-hmm. But that's okay because now I can click on these and nestle them how I want to without my font options. You see? I can just put them where I want them.
So you ungrouped, and then you grouped them back together? Is that what somebody's asking?
No, what I did was I hit the align. Yeah, I hit the align button and ungrouped letters. And once I got them where I want them, I grouped them back together so I didn't accidentally grab a P and pull it over here on accident, which you can do. Like, you know, if you're like, oh, I want to move this word happy, and you click right here to do it, you're going to just move one letter if you don't group it. So see, now I can put them back together. But what I want to show you is another function that we didn't see. So I'm going to select all of these by clicking one, holding down Shift on my keypad and clicking the other two. I'm just going to move this out of the way for a second. I'm going to add that same text again. Happy, return, Easter, return, y'all. Okay? I'm going to add that same text. I'm going to move it over here because I want to show you a different function. So if this had worked, if I was able to in this letter space and just bring all my letters together and they'd be perfect, and some fonts will do it. I'm going to tell you, some fonts will. This one won't. But let's say that it had worked perfectly, but my lines were still too far apart. I could come up here to line spacing and do the same thing. By doing the drop down arrow, it brings this up. Now, I will tell y'all that Cricut has announced that they're bringing out kerning, and kerning is what will do this for us without, we can get it right with kerning. So look for that feature. They told us it's coming, and I'm excited about that. So had that worked out right, or when we get the kerning feature, then you can do your line spacing with just this little arrow. You can make it smaller or bigger. Now, let's say we want to align these words, okay? I want them to be down the center, so I click center, and they'll go right under each other. Now, let me caution you. Fonts are really hard to do that with because fonts have strokes. And so this H, the center of this H, is completely different than the center of this E. Does that make sense? Where the font is concerned. So you notice how that doesn't really look great like that. It's better the way I did it, I think. I mean, that's just me. But you can also center it to the right. I mean, you can justify it to the right, or you can justify it to the left. And I see something important I want to show you. When I justify this to the right, do you see how that didn't go with it? Do you know why? Why do you think? Because I spaced. So there's a space living there.
Yeah.
So when I take that space off, now it'll do it. That was pretty cool to be able to show you that.
You got a few questions about this.
This should cause questions.
So you can't cut a writing font.
You can cut a writing font. You can tell it to cut, but you want to make sure if you're writing, you're not using a cut font. Because a font for cutting, okay, the difference is this. A writing font will look like handwriting. A font for cutting is going to, I'll show you. It's going to become like a bubble. I'll show you. Let's just grab one. So let's just type in the same thing. Happy, enter, Easter, enter, y'all. And I'm going to move it over here to the side. And I'm going to change this to the default font, which is what? Cricut Sans. Can I turn the filter off? No, I want all fonts. Okay, look, I'm going to click on all right here, which will get me all fonts and turn my filter off. I think it does. It's not turning my filter off. Okay, Cricut Sans, where are you at? Is it not Cricut Sans? There we go. So this is Cricut Sans font. Okay, so this says it has a writing style as well, but let me show you what the writing style looks like. So a new feature from your update is called Operation. This used to be, y'all, what that used to say? It used to say, it was a different word. I don't remember. It used to say something else, but Operation means what do you want to do to that? Do you want to cut it? Do you want to draw it? Okay. This is under, I'm going to say that I want to cut it, which it is doing. So when I go to cut it, it will cut this whole letter out. Okay. But now let's say we want to draw it and watch what it'll do. If I go to pen, look, it becomes a bubble letter. So the difference between a writing style, well, I have that as a cut. Let me do it and change it to pen. Why did I do that wrong? That's probably from me messing with it. Let me do that one again. Let me do that. Okay, so you see that bubble letter. If you don't want the bubble letter, let me get rid of this since we've worked with it because it's in my way now. Go back to text. I'm just going to do the word happy because we don't need all that. I'm going to move it down here so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go back to writing style. Filter, writing style. take that out. Why are my filters staying like that? Oh, I see why. You have to click off of them. Did not realize that.
Did you try clicking the clear filters at the top?
Where is that? Do I not
click
see
back
it?
up on filter where you were clicking them at.
That's the issue.
Sorry, I'm delayed a little behind you.
I'm like struggling. I think this
Yeah.
might need to refresh. Let me close this out. There. Huh, I feel better. It needs to refresh. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is pick writing font. Okay. And let's just grab this one because it looks like it. And I'm going to go up here right now and say writing. And, okay. See how this one's thinner and this one's bigger? When the marker writes when they're thinner like this, it'll almost look like a single line. There are some that are single line fonts. You just have to, you get lucky and find them. And this one will leave it bubble because they're so far apart. Does that make sense? But if I write with kind of a chubby pen, that's going to look like a single line. Let me run through and look at some others because that's interesting to me. I want to show y'all that it does exist. There it is. Okay, there it is. It does exist. Okay, do you see this one? This is a single line writing font. Let me see what's different about it. What does it say different about that one? Single layer cut and writing. So let's see what happens when I do multi-layer cut and writing. Ah, it does that. And let's see what happens when we do like this one. Okay, so you see how those are going to be bubbly. If you don't want bubbly, you have to pay attention. Like this is not bubble. Does that make sense? I think it's making sense, but I'm confusing the way I'm showing y'all. This is not going to bubble. It's a single line where this is going to draw what you see in a bubble.
Yeah.
So if you want this, you have to find it. And it's in there. You just have to like go through. I thought Emmeline
Like
was one.
regular writing or bubble writing.
Yeah, I thought Emmeline was one. That's why I'm confused. I wonder if it happened when I messed with it so much. Because don't we use Emmeline for our labels? Yeah, it is. See? It might be when I grouped them and turned it into an image. It could have been that. But this can be a writing font. So you see how it's a single line. That's the differences. So you can, and I can turn this into a cut. So if I go up here to basic, then it's going to, oh, interesting. It's telling me this one can only print and cut, but I don't think that's right. It probably is because it's a fine line, which print and cut we'll get to. Let me come out of that because I think I'm getting more confused than clear. All right, so that is, let me bring this down. That is fonts. The template came back now.
One more question on that I saw is how did you get rid of the black fill-in? You know, when you clicked and you filled it in.
Hang on, I lost my screen.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. How do I get rid of the black fill-in? Okay. This is a template I opened earlier, and it's just living there. And it won't let me select it. And it's because I think it thinks I'm working on it. But I'll tell you why it's there. Because when I clicked on those images, I had moved my screen, and I couldn't see it. Look, like, for example, how did I do it? Okay, I have my screen like that. Does that make sense? So I didn't know that it was up there. See how little it is? So I had to move my screen. So now I'm working with it. So just ignore the template. All right, so text. Ask me the question again real quick.
How did you get rid of the black fill-in?
Okay, so I'm going to change this to Cricket Sans because I want you to be able to see it.
I didn't forget your shirring.
I've got a filter on. All right, because I want to go back to their font. I want to go to the default font, the one you're going to see. Give me a break. What am I doing wrong today? Is it because I typed it in a font already? That's crazy. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. That's me. All right, let's delete it and start over. Go away. Text. I want it to come to the default, but it's not. It's because I've been in here. If I clean this out, Like if I started a new one, I'd come back to the default, but don't worry, we'll just pick something else. Okay, we'll pick this one. All right, so let me stretch this and show you guys. So right now it's a single line, all right? If this one can be cut, and it can't, I need to find one that can be cut. That one's not going to cut. Yeah, it will. Okay, this will cut, all right? But if I change it from that to pen, it goes to outlines. Make sense?
Say it again.
I'm going to go back to where I was. Okay, so if I go up here and tell it to cut basic, it's going to cut those letters.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I tell it to pen or draw, it's going to draw that we see. Now, this doesn't really matter. I mean, this matters, but when you're cutting it, you're going to get the same thing. You're just going to get a whole piece. If you're writing it, it's just going to write on your image, on whatever you're doing. So that's the difference there. That's why that went away. Okay, that's the only reason.
In the text section, I saw the word filter once, but now I no longer see the word filter. Can you help me?
Yep. I'm going to type in a letter. Okay. Hit enter. Bring that little guy down here where we can see it. And then when you go up here to font, when you click on that, in the top right-hand corner, your filter is right there. Let me talk about what everybody wants to know, the elephant in the room, how to put your own fonts in. Okay. Yeah, the pen, that's right, Lolly. The pen cannot fill in letters. I should have said those words. The pen does not fill in. It only outlines or writes single line. If you want me to physically show you, it will take a second. It will take part of our class. But I can physically show you how to bring a font in if you want me to. If you want me to do that, give me a 1. And the reason I say that is, I'm on a Mac. I want you to remember I'm on a Mac. And so it's going to be Mac driven. But I can go and show you how to find fonts and bring fonts in if you want me to show you that. But it will be Mac driven. But I can show you. This is always the elephant in the room. Everybody wants to know how to bring their own fonts in. So I'm already seeing, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please.
Yes, please show. Yes, please show.
All right, I'm fixing to slow down, okay? Let me close these things that we opened earlier.
Oh, man.
I am tab queen, if y'all don't know that.
And
Okay.
what she means by that is if she doesn't have 20 tabs open on her screen,
Something's
she's
wrong.
not living.
Something's wrong. All right, I'm going to go to my browser. Y'all can see my browser. My browser is, I'm using Chrome. Am I using Chrome? Yeah. So I'm just going to type in the search bar up here, which is where you type an address. It's the same place you'd write cricket.com, whatever. I'm going to type free fonts and hit enter. There are sites like crazy with free fonts. And honestly, these 3 are my favorite. These 3 that pop up. Let's go to, this is called 1001 free fonts. I'm going to click it. Okay. These are free fonts for you. All of these are free. Now they might be, they're not free use. I'm going to say this to you and make sure I say it clear, okay? Just because I can get a font for free does not mean I can use it on sellable goods.
Yeah.
You're
not purchasing the font to be able to sell it on private things that you're trying to sell.
Just because I get
They're
it
letting
for
you
free
use it.
I can use it for personal use. If I want to sell it, I got to buy a commercial license.
Comes back to the whole ethics thing.
Maymay
If you don't feel like it's right, don't do it.
Maymay buys commercial license every day. We make stamp sets. Everything I buy is a commercial licensed image. Every font we pay for. And I want to tell you, you have to do it per project. You have to be careful, okay? This one in particular, one thing I really like about this site and DeFont, which was another option, is it tells me over here, this is free for personal use, but I can buy a commercial license right here. So if you're planning on using this font to sell on Etsy, it is ethically right to buy a commercial license. Okay? I want to make sure I say that every time. So these fonts are available. Here's another thing I think is cool. You can search fonts on here. Let me see. It's been a long time since I've been here. Where's their search? Up here at the top. You can search fonts. So let's say you're looking for something script. I'm just going to type in script. They also have categories for you, which is really cool. You can just click on their categories and you can see all these fonts. Okay? Every font is not going to work well. Now, I can't go over that. You'll have to learn that. Every font's not going to be your favorite font, okay? But here's some fonts. So let's take, let me find one that I like. Let's go up here and let's look at Christmas. I like Christmas. So I clicked on the Christmas category, and it's searching. Now, here's something I really, 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 really like, okay? I love when a website gives you this. It's taking its time, or maybe they're calling that a Christmas font. You can type in a word in this little hole, and it's going to put the font in that word, okay? Another thing I love is I can come over here and I can filter by license type. So for me, as a professional, I'm going to want one that I can purchase. It doesn't let me do commercial. But if you want them that are free for personal use, or if you want public domain is a whole different animal. Public domain you can use, okay? Let's go free for personal use. It's going to filter out and make sure I get all of these that are free for personal use, okay? It doesn't mean that it takes away the commercial ones. It just means these are ones that I can use for free, for personal use. If I want to go commercial, I got to pay for commercial. That's confusing, but anyway. So let's pick this one. This one's pretty. So we're going to download this font. So you click that little download. When you do, it goes into your downloads. Now, I'm going to show you how I do this. Mandy, my graphic artist, had a different way to do it, but I do it this way. So it's in my download. So I'm going to come down here to my Finder. If you're on a Windows, you're just going to go to your downloads. I'm just navigating to my downloads right now. I've got to bring this over, y'all, because it's... Can I bring it over here? No, I got to do this first. Sorry, I have my computer set up for a different process today. All right, so this is my Finder. I'm going to go to Downloads. And for me, I have a lot of stuff downloaded on my computer, so to find things easy, in the search bar, I type today, and it'll show me what I put in today, which makes things easier for me. So
it just makes things easier. That's the only way I do it anymore.
It's just easy. So this is Abeland font. This is the one that I got. Is that the one I got? Yeah, Abeland. So here's what we're going to do. Do you see that it's a zip file? The first thing you need to do is unzip it. I'm going to right-click it and tell it to... Where's it at? Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to double-click it. That should open it. And it did. It unzipped it for me. When I double-clicked it, it unzipped it. All right. So this is the zip folder. Okay. I don't even need that anymore. I can take that to the trash. This is my folder that has the font in it, the Abeland script. Okay. Now I'm going to double-click that. Notice I have two fonts. There's an OTF and a TTF. I don't really know what OTF is. I always pull the TTF. I don't know why. It's just the one I get. All right. So with that open, I'm going to go down to my rocket ship. And in your rocket ship, you have this folder called Other, if you're on a Mac. Click on that, and you have this thing called Font Book. So I'm going to open my font book. And then, let me move it to the side so you can see both boxes. Now with Font Book open, I'm going to grab this TTF file, and I'm just going to drag it over to this menu. And when I do, it is going to validate and install the font. Now I have to give it my password to give it permission to do this, to add this font to my computer. And now it's there. Abeland font is in my fonts. Now let me explain something to you. We did not load this to Cricut. This is where people get confused. We did not load this font to Cricut. We loaded this font to our computer, but we can use it on Cricut. I'm going to close all this out. I'm not going to redo that. If you want to go back and watch it, you can, because that was a bonus. Okay? So I did not load that font to my computer. I loaded it to Cricut. So let's type in text again. And let's bring this down here where we can see it. And let's stretch her out so y'all can see it. Okay? I'm going to go up here to text, or to the font. And now what I want to do is I want to filter these by system fonts. What does that mean? So you have all fonts. System fonts are fonts I loaded on my computer system. They are not fonts that anybody else has unless they've downloaded the same thing. These are on my computer, so I'm going to click System. Okay. Now I'm going to look for, I think I would have to close out and come back for that font to be here. I'm pretty sure I do. Just like with anything, like if you're in Word and you download a font, you have to close the program out and open it back up for it to update. Same here. But these are going to be fonts I have downloaded on my computer system. Okay? So I can filter out that way. If you don't filter out here, they're in your all. If you're looking at all fonts, it's there. Now, if I just want to look at fonts that are only available on Cricut, I can click this that says Cricut, and it will show me only fonts that Cricut has. These are not on my computer. That's why you're like, I don't have that font. No, you don't. It's a Cricut font, right? So that's what you do. You put those fonts onto your computer, and then you go to System to see the fonts you have. You do not have to have Cricut access to see your system fonts. System fonts is fonts you have. But I will tell you this, that filter might be an access situation. I don't think it is. But if you're on all, then your fonts are going to show up. Everything that's on Cricut and on your system. So that was a bonus.
All right. While in text, if I ungroup, I struggle grouping again. Can you help, please?
While in text, if I ungroup, I struggle with grouping again.
I'm guessing if she ungroups text, she can't group them back.
Okay. I'm going to bring this down again. If you ungroup this text, it is ungrouped. Technically. So watch what happens.
It becomes like a picture.
If I ungroup these letters, they are now individual. See? Where they were not. If I grab them again, I want you to see, I can now no longer use my font stuff. They are no longer a font.
Yeah.
They become an image.
Becomes an image.
So that can be where your issue is. And if that happens and you just want to group these back together, you'll just click on this and, hold on, did I tell you that right? Hold on. No, okay, no, I did not. Okay, look. It no longer is a connected word. So if I click on one letter, I can now edit one letter, right? So if I go to advanced, I really can't group them back because it's one letter. Let me see if I can do this. I've never tried this. Now that you're asking this question. I may have just figured something out. Nope. Nope. Nope, they're one letter. I thought you could select them all and then double click them and be able to do it, but you can't because now they've become their own thing, okay? The only way to group them now is to use the group function in your layers panel up here in the top corner, and that does group them where you can move them around, but it does not put them back into an editable text like they were before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean you can't still edit them. Let me show you. You can edit them individually because you can ungroup, and I can double click one letter, and I can change it to a capital letter. But because I've undone them, he's undone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Was there another question?
Let me see. Where did I go? Do you know the name of the Cricut font that they use to do the title art? #M9FFFA3D volleyball junkie. I don't understand that one.
That's actually a good question. Can we come back to that? Because I want to show you how you should be able to find that.
I'll write that down in a minute.
Yeah, I want to come back to that because I'm going to have to maneuver away and I don't want to confuse folks.
Do you know if they're able to do the import of a font on a tablet, or is it only available on a computer?
I have never, does anybody know? Because I've never tried it on my tablet. I'm real rusty on the tablet. I'm trying to get better for y'all because so many of you are using tablets nowadays. Let me see something. Text. Yes, you can because there's system fonts available and my system fonts are on here. So when you learn how to, because I don't know how yet, if you learn how to put a font on your iPad, then yes, or put it in the cloud where you can access it, it is available on there. It's pretty interesting. It's a good question.
Do you have to have Cricut access to see your system fonts? I think you answered that.
I did.
Michelle said, that's interesting because mine says none found and I have a lot of fonts.
Make sure you don't have a filter on it. It kept doing that to me a while ago because I had a filter on. You know how we had to go clear the filters? Because I put that in and
She went
typed,
out and got back
Okay.
in and now she sees all of them.
Okay, because I did that a while ago and I typed Cricut and it wouldn't take the word out until I cleared the filters.
Lolly B said you can do an undo before making any changes to the individual letters.
Okay. So you can undo it back. If you do it and didn't mean to, you can undo it back. Or if you do it and want them back together, you can undo it back.
And then my messy room stamper. Do you need to have them grouped in order to print it as one word and not individual letters?
Actually, you need to have them, it depends, okay? Y'all are so smart. You jump ahead. That's okay. I'm going with the flow. Okay. Here's the deal. Right now I'm saying that's a cut image, okay? So this will cut like this because I typed it as a word. It won't take each of those letters and go crazy. I don't think. Let me see. Actually, it might. Let me say make it. Oh, I'm on the joy. I gotta change it because I made this big. I probably can't because I don't have it hooked up. I probably can't. Okay. All right, so let me find that word. It was black. Okay, so you see how it brought it over together? It'll keep that word together and not send it somewhere else because I typed it that way. So let me cancel this and show you what will happen if I do it different. If I want it to be a print word, I need to come down here and I need to, well, no, I need to tell it that I need it to print. So let me click on this. What have I done? Click on this and go up here and tell it,
Excuse me.
where did print go? Print right here. All right, this is new, y'all. This operations panel has changed. So where it says print then cut, if I click standard, now this becomes a print then cut. It won't want to cut it first. It'll print it and then cut it, okay? But I can also, remember we talked about we can change it to these things as well, these other options. But it will stay together. Now, if you put them in as separate letters, you're going to have to attach them. But we'll get to attach in a few minutes, okay? All right, let me, oh good, so she has system fonts on her Chromebook too.
Yes.
All right, so let's go to, so that was text. That was us living in text for a while. Let's go to shapes. I love shapes. Let me tell you why I love shapes. Many times I build my own images with shapes. I don't even worry about looking for images. A lot of times, like let's say I wanted to make,
It's amazing the things she can make with
I
shapes.
I will go to shapes. I can't think of a single thing to make for them with a shape right now, but I'll go to shapes and make what I want. You want to try it? Don't be crazy. Don't mess me up.
Let's say a rabbit. Because
Okay.
I've watched you make a rabbit
I can do a
before.
rabbit. I'm going to get a circle.
Oh, you could do the one we did for one of the projects.
I'll make a
gnome.
rabbit. So here's the deal. I've got a circle. I'm going to duplicate this circle. All right. So while it's selected, I'm going to come up here to the corner and click duplicate in the top right corner twice. No, I'm going to do it once and I'll show you why. All right. So this is going to be my bunny's face. And maybe I don't want it to be a circle. So I'm going to unlock it and shrink it up a little bit. This is going to be his ear. So I'm going to unlock it and make it an oval and stretch it. Okay. And the reason I only did that is because I don't want to have to make this ear twice. So what I'm going to do, matter of fact, I will do something different. Matter of fact, I will. So what I'm going to do is click this oval and I'm going to duplicate it. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is duplicate this one more time. Y'all watch my brain. Come on out, little guy. All right. I'm going to shrink this one down. No, I'm not going to shrink it down. Actually, I'll shrink them both down a little bit because of what I want to do right here. I want to make this kind of a bent ear. I'm going to turn this one. And I'm going to shrink that a little bit more. And then, okay, so I'm going to leave that like that. All right, here's his face. Here's one ear. I'm going to take this ear and put it up here, but I don't want it to be straight up. I'm going to angle it just a little bit. This is just shapes, y'all. This is not an image of any kind. Now, these two images, I need to turn them into one so I can stretch it. I think this needs to be a little bit bigger for it to look any good. So what I'm going to do is grab this, or grab both of these images. Cricket's got to catch up with me. All right, come on, Cricket, catch up with me. So I'm going to grab both of these images, and then I'm going to weld them together, bottom right-hand corner. In doing that, I've now created this bent ear, sort of. Y'all get the point. It's not real great. I would finesse it. Turn it out a little bit. That looks real bad. I'm going to undo that. We're just going to put an ear. But you see, you could make a bent ear if you played with it, but I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, so get rid of this guy. All right, so let's do it with just these ears. So put this one here, put this one here, tilt it out a little bit, grab this one, tilt it out a little bit, put it over here. Okay. If I were to go to cut this right now, it would cut this oval, this ear, and this ear separately. But I don't want to do that. I want this to be one image. So I'm going to grab it, all of it, and weld it together. And now I've just made a bunny shape, right?
Yeah.
Now if I want to cut out a face or a little nuzzle, what are those called? Nuzzle? I never get that right. Let's make a small oval like this. Bring it in here like this. Hard to see, so let's change its color. Anytime you have an item selected, you can come up here and change the color so you can see it. Let's make it green just for purposes so I can center it. So I can align this where I want it. And look, what I really want to do is click that little oval, hold down shift on my keypad and click the bunny, or drag a box over both, whichever way you're doing it, and then go to my align feature, which we haven't even got to yet, and just center those, okay? Now what I want to do is I could either cut this as a layer, or I could cut this out. And let me show you slice. Here's how you do slice. Slice only works with 2 images, but I want to back up and tell y'all something. How many images is this? Okay, let's talk about that. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 images. But the reason it will work for slice is because I turned these 3 images into one.
Yep, you welded them.
So let's move that little guy back. All right, so now I'm going to grab 2 images because I welded 3 of them together. So I'm at 2 images and I'm going to slice it. So now I take this little guy away and take him away. And now I have this circle. And what's really cute to do, let me show y'all this. Let's undo this. I'm going to show y'all something super cute to do. You're learning all these features kind of out of order. It's not really the order I do this, but it's okay. You're asking questions. All right, we're going to go back to shapes again. I'm going to grab a circle, bring it down here. I'm going to change the circle to white so I can see it better. And watch this. I'm going to shrink this kind of, I got to unlock it because I didn't do a circle. I did an oval. I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to make like a frame. This is just using shapes, y'all. I've not gone into images. I'm going to select both of these and slice it. And now what I'll get is this little, I have to move this piece out. Remember, this was the piece we cut away, and this was our cookie cutter. So that was cookie dough. This is the cookie cutter right here.
Where's the slice button?
At the bottom right. And it only works when you have 2, it only shows up when you have 2 images selected. We'll get to slice in a few minutes. I'm just wanting to show you quickly shapes, okay? Why shapes are cool. So look, I've made this. And you're like, yeah, but what would you do with this? Well, now you go to text and you make a monogram and put inside here. You put a monogram in it. And
you make a tag.
A tag, anything. You just made, with shapes, you just made a bunny.
Y'all put a monogram in it, cut it out in vinyl, go to Dollar Tree, and get the little cute water bottle and throw it on there. And
cut it out in vinyl and make you a shirt. Put it on your car.
Yeah, put it in your kids.
And I play with shapes all the time. All the time. Like I turn anything, I play with shapes more than images. Because I like to turn shapes into things. So that is shapes. Now inside of shapes, I need to go back here for a second. My computer went to sleep where y'all are talking. Okay. Inside of shapes, okay, if you go to shapes in here, the score line lives here too. So the only other thing besides shapes in here is your score line. We'll get to score lines in a little bit. All right. So y'all like the shapes? It's really cool. I even have taken like this heart. When we didn't have a diamond, there was a time we didn't have the diamond shape to get that point. I've even taken this guy and sliced the top off to get that bottom to do something with, you know. And something that's really cool, if you're into punch art, if you think about it, punch art is just taking shapes and making something else. So you could turn this into a puppy. There's so many things you can do with like punch art. So that's one reason we use shapes. Another reason you might want to use shapes is for card making. I know these are sitting here. We're going to use these because I got to show y'all some stuff. But another reason I like to use shapes, well, it's actually for anything. Because let's say I'm going to make a t-shirt. And I've measured the space I want to use. And the space I want to use is 10 by 10. Okay, and I want to fill that up. For me, rather than having to pay attention to these little grids, I'm never good at that. What I do is I go to the shapes and I grab a square. And I resize this square to be 10 by 10. So with my square selected, I come up here to the top and I go 10 inches by 10 inches. And it was locked, so it did it for me. So now I know anything I put in here is going to fit on my shirt that I need to fill up a 10 by 10 space. Does that make sense? That's how I do my templates.
You can also do that with like your A2 size card front or
Exactly.
whatever size you want to fill up, make it in a box.
Exactly. So this box tells me where to stay. Now let me show y'all something, because I actually had somebody ask earlier how to change it darker so they could see better.
Yes, I have that written down.
Watch this. This background, when I'm working with white, I like for my template to be white so I can work inside of it. We can change this background color. It's really cool what they let us do. If you come to the, my cursor circle went away. If you come to the bottom right here, it says, oh, not there. Hold on, where's it at? It's at the very bottom of this layers panel. Okay. Where did that go? Am I doing something wrong? Did they change it? Did they move it? Where did that go? Oh my goodness, I've lost my mind. Okay, give me a second. I'm not surprised. I'm at that age. Okay, so to change the background, top line, it says color. You're going to click on that says color. You're going to choose what you want your background to be. I always choose this green because it's easy on the eyes on a computer. So I just picked this green, okay? Why is it not changing my background? I've got something wrong here. I tell y'all what, I'm going to start a new project. I think I've got way too much going. Let's kind of clean, there we go. Let's clean this up. There it is. That's what I was down here looking for, a blank canvas. Okay. If you struggle seeing stuff on your mat, here's what you do. You go down here to blank canvas and you click that, okay? Then you go to color at the top and you click what color you want your canvas to be. And now it changes it to a color so you can see. So we've done that. I'm also going to take my grid off with the secret button at the top. Remember I showed y'all that little button. Now let's go back to shapes. I'm going to add this square in. So let's say it's a card. Let's make it A2. So let's make it 4. I'm going to unlock it by 5 1/4. Okay. This now is where, if I'm building inside of here, I know what sizes I can make everything. So I'm going to turn this white, and you can see now with my green background, I can see what I'm working on. So if you're struggling with seeing what you're working on, that's a great way to do it. All right, so remember, this is just a shape that I've turned into my template for my card. Okay. So now anything I want to put on a card, let's say I want to put that bunny or something. That bunny.
That bunny.
That bunny. Oh, that would have been a great one to show y'all. Let me show y'all this. Let's say I want to put a bunny in here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He was so cute. Where'd he go? Oh gosh, I do not care for that. Sorry, opinions.
I don't know which one you're talking
You'll
about.
see. Where'd that bunny go that was so cute? Maybe I need to...
Yeah, I don't care for that either.
Let's use this guy, just for the heck of it. Okay, so I bring this guy in to put on my card, okay? And look, he'll fit just fine. He fits an A2 card. But maybe I wanted him to fill the whole front of the card. I know if I do this, he's still going to fit on my card. You see what I'm saying? But if I do him like this, he's too big for my card. That's what the template is. That's how I use templates, okay? Now I want to show y'all something else.
I got some questions about this.
Go for it.
Let me see. Oh, never mind. She took part of it away. Joe Hall said, so I changed my background to be light green, but when I took my shape over, it was gray. How do I make it white?
All right, so let's make a shape. Grab a square, okay? In the top left hand, you'll see this little box. That's what color that square is. To change that, whatever you put out there, if you put a circle, a heart, a diamond, to change that, you're going to click on that square, and you'll get all these options. And not only can you click any of these colors, you can advance it. And let me show you something. Maymay Red is D0. Do you remember? D0700? Is it D01? Wow, it's been a long time since I've done it.
I have it written down in my notebook. I have red.
That's pink, so that's not
That's
it.
pink. That's not it.
It is D1701. Ah, I got it. D01701. I had to do it without thinking. So I happen to know the RGB color that I like to use on my projects, okay? You can literally type that color in and get that color. You can be that specific. Let's say I type it in, I don't love it. I can literally roll this out and change it.
She said, oh, I see.
Isn't it cool? So cool, so cool. I'm telling y'all, Cricut
And
gives you so much.
If you asked a question earlier and it hasn't been answered, I have written them down. So, because we moved on to this, and there were still a few questions.
Let me
about
actually,
other
I want to
stuff,
show you a really cool feature. So let's talk about your questions real quick. So let's do their questions first.
All right, we had Beth. Can you explain the print then cut?
We will get there.
Okay. Then my messy room stamper. Sorry, I meant cut them. Want them to cut as a word, not individual letters.
They would cut as a word if you just tell it cut or draw.
And then we still had lollies, but you said we were
Oh,
going to get
no, I know
there.
what she's asking.
Lolly.
She's saying she want to bring them together and cut as one word.
Yeah.
Make a note. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Did I already answer one you said?
Lollies was the Cricut font that they used. Didn't you say you'd come back to that? Do you know the name of the Cricut font?
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
And then, next.
Let's see. While in text, if I ungroup, I struggle grouping again.
You did that
We
one.
did that.
We went
All
over
right. I think we're good.
Thelma asked, is a commercial license expensive? It depends on the font. Some are very expensive and some are not.
Yes.
Some are 99 cents and some are $99. Like, it just depends.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky, they're 99 cents. I showed y'all where the slice button was. We'll talk more about slice. Are there punch art ideas on Cricut? No. Look for those on like Pinterest or YouTube. A lot of people do punch art projects. And I think we're caught up. Okay,
Yeah,
let me
I
show
think
y'all
that's
something
everything.
cool. It is 12 o'clock. We need to do a drawing and we need to take a 5-minute potty break. And then we're going to come back and talk about more features because there's so many more I want to get to. So, will you do the drawing?
Yes.
Here we go. Another $25 gift card to the store.
All right. Generate.
Thanks, Joe. I wish we could go all day because there's so many things I could show you. We need to do like a part 2, but so many things.
All right. Our winner is number 26, and it is Tammy Schneider, I'm guessing. SCHEXNAYDER. So if that's your name, you won.
Congrats. If you're not here, you don't have to be present to win. So if you're not here, we'll let you know that you won.
And if I
like I'm talking to
totally
you.
butchered that, I'm so sorry. But I tried.
Yay! Shireen was able to see all her Disney fonts she purchased 2 years ago. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to give you, it's 12:02, so at 12:07, we'll get started again. If you want to chat a little bit in this 5-minute break, I'm not going to run to the restroom. I'm good. So if you want to chat, ask questions in here that I can answer kind of quickly. We're still fixing to go over all of our bottom panel. We're going to go over all of these down here at the bottom. We're going to go over all of these at the top, and we're going to hit the features up here we've missed. So we've almost finished here. We've got to do uploads, but that's easy. Uploads is super easy. So we're getting there. We just have a few more things I want to hit on before we're done. So we have an hour to finish those. When you start playing, your world is going to open up. It's going to open up. Sherry said, help. I'm here for you. Go for it. Can y'all believe how fast this time goes by?
Oh, yay, Tammy, you're here.
Network-
Hopefully I said that right. I'm
Network,
sorry.
thank you so much. That's such a good comment. On Instagram, I did your video, and this lady said, is there anything that girl can't do? No. She can do anything.
I'll try it all. Well, actually, they were all kind of scared of the ladder, and I wasn't, so
This girl ain't getting
guinea
on the
pig
ladder.
up the top.
If y'all haven't seen on Instagram, look, here you are.
I know, Tammy said, you're so cute.
You are so cute.
Thanks.
I would like, look, Cricket Scraper for the win.
Yes, that Cricut scraper was the win.
Oh, 94% said that is so Maymay, and 6% said, oh no, more check.
Yes, check.
I love it.
We are trying to vamp a room
On
easily.
little money.
Easily. I mean, because it has been pretty easy.
It really is.
And not like, have to paint and wallpaper really. So cute.
What we're doing is we don't have to do a lot. We're just
Yeah.
doing tweaks, so it feels like we did a lot. All right, let me see. Where was the help?
I can't
Oh.
I can't see anything on the top, bottom, or sides like you.
Okay, that is probably because your resolution. At the top of the screen, let me do this. Do you see I have these 3 little boxes right here? See what happens if you minimize your screen. Like if I click mine down, it'll get smaller. and I can see it like that, that might help. But also sometimes the resolution of your screen is so big that it'll pull it off the screen, and that's a different issue. But try this. Everything will be a little more compact, but it'll be right at you. That may work. I just like to keep my screen big so y'all can see the best you possibly can.
Can you restick a joy mat? Zig two-way, right? Is that
Yeah,
what they would
Zig
want to do?
two-way is the way to go. A matter of fact, I have a video on that. If Shannon wants to look for that, she can. It's called Resticking Your Cricut Mats. Oh, thank you. Look, I love that. Low Remy, is that your name? Or tell me your name so I can call you correctly. That comment makes me so happy. The best class ever. I've been so frustrated by this machine, and now it's going to be my best friend. It is literally going to be your best friend. Alicia Anderson says, I'm running Windows 7 on my computer. Are there features in Design Space that you cannot use with Windows 7 OS as opposed to Windows 10? It is my understanding that the newest update only works with Windows 10. Now, I could be wrong. I'm real bad at all that stuff. Let me ask Melody. While I got 1 minute. Let me see if she'll answer me. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that, but Melody will know. She knows everything about Cricut. Let's see. Does the new update only work with Windows 10 or higher? I think I'm right about that. I'm going to ask. But I would think the only thing you wouldn't be able to do is the newest stuff. And let me speak to that a little bit. That can be frustrating, and I understand that. But I want to make sure I tell you this. It's impossible for companies to keep everything working with technology grows so fast, and it just has to grow or we don't get features.
Yeah.
You know? And there's no way they can
I mean, we have a program that we still don't have an app for on our computers that we have to just use the web-based.
Yes, that's so frustrating. Mm-hmm. It is frustrating. And it's an app we use a lot, so it's frustrating. But I do believe that they said this one works. Do I have that paper I printed out? Is it on my desk? I think, you know the one?
Lolly asked a question.
Yeah, I'm going to show you that too. Okay. Because of that, I've got 1207. I'm going to wait for Melody to answer me. I'll tell you what she tells me in a second. So I'm going to answer Aunt Lolly's question while we do these next features. Okay. So you remember I told you this was my A2 card background? This is like the first matte layer because an A2 card is actually a quarter size bigger than this. So I'm going to do something so I can show you some things, okay? Now, if you're not a card maker, let me tell you what this is, okay? I'm going to change the color real quick. This is the size of what we use to make a standard greeting card. And we score this in half and fold it. And then this little image right here, let me pull that to the front. Look here, arrange, move to the front. That's a feature. This piece would mat on top of there. But we would want a score line here so that when we got this cut, we could fold it, right? So Aunt Lolly just asked about a score line. So I want to show y'all how to attach a score line.
Audio is very
Did
low.
my mic go out?
Possibly.
It did. 1 second, changing my batteries.
Pause moment for a brief battery change.
Wouldn't that be neat if you're like, I'm so tired, let me change my batteries.
Where do I put them in at?
Slip them in.
I went checking my weather radio. Tuesday before the storm. I'm a last minute Wednesday before the storm. I'm a last minute waiter, and I flipped it over to take it and check the batteries, and it had corroded with all the batteries in it. It still worked though. Yay.
Thank goodness. Okay, so I'm back.
Bye.
All right, so this is the size of a piece of cardstock we would fold in half, but we would want it to score. And for those of you who don't know, you have a scoring tool on your machine that you can put in and score this. So let me show you how this works. If you go to shapes and you add a score line. Score lines used to be hard for me to work with. They got a little easier, but they used to be hard because I couldn't ever grab them. I couldn't grab a hold of them. Look, I just missed it. All right, so I'm going to take this score line and just kind of eyeball the center, and I'm going to stretch it down. Now I want you to notice something. You cannot skew this. Do you see how I don't have that unlock? You cannot skew this, okay? So I'm just stretching it down to the height I need, or I could come up here and put in the actual height, but this is fine, 5.5 roughly. If I were to do this and tell this to make it right now, this score line is not going to stay there. Why is it not going to stay there? Because I didn't tell it to. I put it on the screen there, but I didn't say I want you to stay right here. And this works for anything. If you're putting text on that you want to write on this spot, you have to tell Cricut, hold that there. Okay, and here's how you do it. You click your score mark, and you select the, well, actually we can do it this way because we want these two images selected, this rectangle and this score line. So I'm going to click and drag over them and select them both. Now in the bottom of our layers panel, you can see the only thing we can do is attach this. So I'm going to attach it. And when I do, look, it is attached. Now what's different in grouping and attaching? Grouping puts them in the same rectangle, but attaching puts it right there. You see what I'm saying? I want it to stay right there, okay? Grouping also does not change them from one image to another. I mean, from two images to one image. It just changes them together. This makes this one thing. It's going to work on one image, okay? So I have to attach it. Okay, Melody says the offset does. Does the new, okay, so offset works on 10 or higher. Everything else you should have. All right, so say I wanted to print this little picture on this card. Let's do it on the white so y'all can see it. Say I wanted to print this. This is the print and cut. For those of you who are asking about print and cut, let's do that. I'm going to move this guy to the front. Let me tell you why that happens. The last image you work on becomes the front image, or the last one you added to the screen becomes the front image, so they'll get kind of stacked up. All right, so I'm going to put this guy here, and let's say I want him to print right there. First off, right now, if I look up here in operations, he's a cut image. I want him to be a print image. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to print then cut and click standard. And watch how he changes. Do you see how the lines kind of when those dark lines went away? Because those were cut lines, okay? So here's the deal, y'all. I've told this I want it to print this bunny and I've sat it on this white thing, but I have not said print it there. I've just sat it there. It's just holding it, right? So I'm going to have to say, I want you to print it, but I want you to print it right here. So I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to come down here, and I have two options.
Attach.
I can attach it, or I can flatten it. It will let me flatten as well. Flatten works for me when I have a layered image that I want to print just that image, then I flatten that image. So all those layers become one. So for example, let me grab an image that's all layered up. Let's grab, is this layered? Probably. This is probably really layered. Yes, very layered. See all those layers? Okay. Let's say I just want to print this, but not on something else. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to print it on a square. I just want to print this. Maybe I just want to turn it into a sticker. Should I show them? Not yet, not yet. I'll come back to that. Okay, so I want to print just this. Rather than, I don't have anything to attach it to, right? I can change it to a print image by doing this, okay? So it's a print image, but I want to flatten all those layers because if I don't, it's going to print all those layers. So I want to flatten it into one. So now it is one flattened image and it will print as one flattened image. Make sense?
Yeah.
When this first came out, when printing first came out, my good friend was so excited because she didn't like to layer images, but she wanted a bunch of images on her cards and stuff. So rather than cut layer after layer, like we used to do with our cartridges, cut layer after layer and glue them together and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I can flatten them and print them and cut them and I love them and it's great. It's great. All right, so let's go back to this guy. He's a print image, but I want him to print on this white piece. So I need to go to the bottom and tell it to attach.
I have that question too, Michelle. when you say print, do you mean like draw with markers or?
No, actually, all right, that didn't work. Oh, I know what I did. All right, I'm going to select both of these pieces, my bunny and the background. I'm going to attach it. Now, when I do that, watch, he's attached there. So now I have told the Cricut, I want to print this guy on that white square, and I want you to cut out that white square, not the bunny. Okay?
Cut the white square, print the bunny.
That's right. Okay, print then cut is a feature that Cricut offers. And the reason it's called print then cut is because the Cricut software, Design Space, is going to talk to your printer and it's going to print this page. It'll print that little bunny on a white piece of paper, okay? It'll print to your printer. It does not print to the machine. It prints to your printer. Then it will print with registration marks, okay? So you'll go pull that off your printer, you'll put it on your Cricut mat, you'll feed it into the machine. The machine will read the registration marks, and in this case, it will cut this rectangle out where that bunny is printed. In the case of the egg I showed you, it would cut that egg out, the outside of that egg.
Yeah.
Okay? So the confusion for print then cut is people think that the machine prints.
The Cricut's going to print
does
it
not.
and then cut it. It just gives instructions to your printer to print it.
And so people go, what printer do I need to work with my machine? You need a printer that prints well. They all work with the machine because none of them speak to the machine. The machine don't have nothing to do with your printer. It's like, I don't even know you.
Design Space will tell your printer to print.
And all it does, all Design Space does is tell your printer to print.
Yeah.
Your printer and your computer are what really work together. That was a good question. I'm glad y'all asked it.
Yes, Valerie, my mind is blown as well.
Okay, next question.
It was.
I'm undoing what I did because I want to show y'all something else because I think this is fun.
Oh, when you made the background green, isn't it the button down there or right at the bottom?
Look how it's there right now, but it
yeah,
wasn't
blank
there.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was gone.
Who asked that? Beth. It's the blank canvas on the bottom right-hand side. You see where ours is green.
I see the question Beth asked, what is it like when you go make it? I'll show you. So I'm going to attach it back together because I had unattached it. I'm going to go make it.
Learning so much.
All right. So this is telling you print then cut. Okay. So I want to print this little dude on this white paper. So if I say continue here, it's going to tell me we need to send it to the printer. So I'm going to send to printer. And this is where Office Space, that's what I was going to say. This is where Design Space speaks to my printer. Okay. So I can choose my printer. I only have that one. Okay. I'm not going to get into that, but I can choose my printer and I'll tell it to print. My printer will then print what you see right here, this black line and all of this on a white piece of paper. Okay. Let me go out of that. Then when I go back to my Cricut, I put this on my mat. I'll put my page on the mat, and that dark black line is where Cricut will go. Here, it reads it. This is where the image is, and then that thin black line is what it will cut. We gotta let that sink in. So that was that.
Lady B wants to know, so what would weld do to the image?
If you go back to where we did shapes, I showed weld because we made that image.
Yeah, when you take two images and make them, or as you did 3 images and make them into one. It takes the lines from the other images and makes 3 circles to 1 circle.
See these 2 images?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and overlap it. And when I drag over and select them both and click weld, it turns it into this image. I've welded these 2 images together.
So you have 2 separate eyes, now you have 2 joined eyes.
And you can go back and see that, and you'll see that. So how do you print then cut text below the bunny? Don't want the text to cut, just print. All right, same thing. You're going to go to text. You're going to type your text. I'm getting too lazy to type. I typed happy day. That's bad, right? We'll put happy day in here. And I'm going to go, no. Did you say print? Did she want it to print? So how do you print then cut text below? Same thing. So this, I'm going to tell this, instead of being a cut, I want to tell it to be a print. So standard, okay, so it's a print. and then I need to attach it there. So I'm going to, hold on, grab you. Yeah. Why does it tell me detach? Why is that doing that? Oh, do I have to do them all at the same time? I wonder if I do. Hold on. Back.
Yes, that's my, if you want your image to print on cardstock, you'll need to put cardstock in your printer.
Yes, absolutely.
But you'll also have to know what type of cardstock your printer will take. Our printer is not very nice and doesn't like super thick cardstock, so you have to figure that one out on your printer. How do you sync the printer and the Cricut? You're not syncing the printer to the Cricut. You'll sync the printer most likely when you plug it in. It will ask you and do a setup in your Design Space software. You won't actually sync it to your Cricut.
Okay, for the question Aunt Lolly had was, how do I do with text and this? You can't attach them one at a time. You build it, okay, and then you grab it all, and then you attach it. So once you do that, now I have, did I tell that to be print? Hold on. I may not have. I don't think I did. Hold on. There. Okay. So now this is all attached. So you can't like attach this and come back and attach this and come back. You have to just attach everything at once. So that's why you might have been having an issue with that if you have. Okay. I got to show y'all some other stuff, y'all. It's so fun. Let me move forward just a little bit. Hold questions for just a second. I got this unattached. All right, this is a feature you're going to love. And what I want to do is blow this up to show you. So let's say that you like this image, but you want to get rid of some of the parts of the image. For example, let's say you don't really care for... Oh, I can't do it that way because I've already done this to this image. Hold on, I got to change this image to a cut image. That's all I got to do. So it's a cut image. Is it because I've already messed with it? I think it is. Let me bring a fresh image in because I did a bunch of editing to this guy. Let's bring this. No, he won't be enough images. He won't be enough. Let's bring this guy in. He might work. This gnome might do the trick.
The gnome.
I don't want the bunny anymore.
Oh, gnome, you did.
I'm trying to hurry. Okay, stop hurrying. We're going to get rid of the bunny.
I don't like the bunny.
Okay, this little guy.
Bunny mustache.
So, I've got him big so y'all can see him. Let's say I don't want the flower. Let's say I want to put something else in his hand, okay? Here's what you can do. Why is it not giving me contour? Does somebody know what I'm doing wrong?
Not me.
Because nothing's overlapping. Look, okay. So look, if I don't want to do it here because it's not contour, and look, I can just close things out. These little eyeballs over here, no, that didn't work. Contour should be working on this. Why is it not? I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. All right, let me shrink this back down. Image. I want that many layers. This is strange to me why it's not working. You're a basic cut image. I should be able to contour you. All right, I do not know why, but my contour feature is not on. With contour, when it's working, you can literally click the contour feature and come in. What am I doing wrong? He's showing as a cut. What in the world am I doing wrong?
Yay, Myth T. Joy app is now available for Android. She downloaded it last night.
That's awesome. This is really frustrating me. I've always
Doesn't contour show
I've
when
always
you
been able
make
to use
it?
it on this screen, but I don't understand. So contour is this option over here in the corner, and when you click on something and it's black where you can click it, okay, you can then come in and literally contour out lines, contour out sections. Like if you didn't want it to have eyes, Or if you wanted to change the eyes, you could contour them out. And it makes me sad that I'm not able to show you. Something's going on. I've used contour forever. This is not something new. Let me clean my whole mat off. Make sure nothing. Let's do a new project. Maybe, a while ago I had to do this. Because I'm doing a lot of stuff in a project. Okay. So let's try it again. Let's grab. He should totally work. There's no reason he's not working. But it's not giving me contour. I wonder if that's a hiccup. I wonder if something happened in the update that they've got to fix, because I wonder if it happened when they changed this whole operation button and did all this drop downy stuff.
Yeah.
Because that should be working. I'm going to find out about that.
Happens.
That's interesting. But if you want to learn how to, that first Easter egg works. Okay, hold on. Which Easter egg? This one will let me contour? Look. Okay, good. Thank you. I don't know why the other ones weren't. Maybe it's because they were layers. I don't know, but we'll see. That's what it was. They were layers. Because you can close out a layer. I guarantee that's what it was. Okay. So we're going to contour this guy. So I'm going to click on contour. So let's say I don't want all of these in there. Let's say I don't want the lines. I just want the dots. Okay. I can come right over here to this little panel. And anywhere it's a thing I don't want, I can touch it. Just click it. And it will go away. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of those. I want to do another one, and this will only leave the dots. Now here's what's weird. This is where it'll mess you up. There's no enter or save or apply button here. You just click out and it works. Okay, so I'm just going to click out and those lines are gone. So that's a little confusing for folks, okay? Let me undo this and do it again.
Does it need to be unlocked before you can contour?
No, I think it was layers. I really do. This is a one-layered thing, and if you're going to contour something out, it's because it's in the layer. Those were just layered images. That's obviously what it was. Okay, so I'm going to click contour and say this time I want to get rid of the background. I don't want that background. I can click that egg and click off, and look, I just get that. You see? Now, why does this come in handy? People have said this, like, I don't really know why I'd use that. Well, here's why. You may have an image that says, like, Happy Easter in here, and you don't want Happy Easter. You just want the egg. You can contour out Happy Easter. Maybe that's where I was messing up. I was bringing in layered images. Let's bring in something that's not layered. Let's see if this works. It probably won't work because I want it to. Oh, it will. Perfect. Okay, look, it says Happy Easter. We don't want it to say Happy Easter. We want the egg. So if I come in here and I do the contour thing, this is an ugly contour situation, isn't it?
I think you could have picked a prettier.
I could have picked a better one. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let's see what it does. Kicks and giggles, right? So you can also come over here and do it. Oh, that's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it. Yeah, we'll undo that. Oh, I see why it's not going to work, because that's actually cut out. It's not on it. Yeah. Let's do something that'll make sense. Oh, let's do these guys. Okay. So, let us say, let's see what happens. We'll go to contour, see what we can take out. So, our little guys, they're coming in. They're in here. So, let's say we want to get rid of the eggs out of their hand. I can click on the parts over here, or can I not do it over here? I thought I could. Okay, so we got to go over here. So it's this line. Why do I pick the hardest possible thing to show y'all with? It's like a thing.
Take stripes out of their hats.
Well, let me just watch this. If I see what goes away when I click it.
Oh, that was mustache.
Yeah, see that? So where's the eggs? They must be down here. That's a note. No, that's a dot. There's so many things you could contour out of this. It's such a bad image for me to choose. But you see what's happening, like, such a poor image. What is my deal? Where's that triangle? Where's that diamond? So let's just do this and see what comes out. Oh, those came out. See? So you could literally get very specific and get rid of things, if that makes sense. You wouldn't probably do it on a solid image like that. You do it on something little. Okay, hold on. Let me finish some things here. I want to keep showing you these things down here. Okay. let me go to uploads really quick because this is important. So recently you would have seen that everybody was talking about the fact that Cricut was thinking about limiting uploads to 20 per month. They have changed that. That is no longer a thing at all whatsoever. It's not in a time frame. They're not it's just not a thing anymore. They've taken it away. It's just not a thing. So there is no limits anymore to this, or there never has been, and there isn't at this point. If you want to upload your own image, this is where you do it. So what kind of image might you upload? An SVG file? Like my stamps all come with free SVGs. You might want to upload a photo. You might want to upload a shape. You might build something in another program and want to bring it in. There's all different reasons. So I'm going to upload an image. Okay, so I'm just going to go browse. Okay, I don't even know what I can upload in here. Let's see what I've got. I'll probably have an SVG or something. Let's see. Okay, let's say I want to upload my logo. Is this the good logo? I don't know what this is.
They said upload one of your stamp sets.
This one's already cleaned up. Oh, well, I can show you with this one. So here's my logo, right? If you notice on the screen, these blue dots, anytime you see that, that means your image is clear. If you can see those blue dots through it, the image is clear. Notice that my face is not clear. Okay, so this means my face is only going to cut out around. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to tell it simple. Now, some people will say moderate, and some people say complex. And I've yet to see anybody like have to do that. I just say simple. So I'm going to bring this in as a simple image, and I'm going to say continue. Okay, so all this blue means it's going to cut. That's clear. There's nothing there. Okay, my face is not clear. My hair is not clear. So if I were to preview this cut, look, if I preview it, look what I get. Well, I don't want that. I want to be able to see my face, right? So I'm going to hide that preview. Now, this is the thing I love. Up here in the top left is this little magic select erase button. Love this. I'm going to click on that little guy. Now, if I bring him, now that I've clicked on him, my cursor becomes him, okay? I'm going to click inside where something's white. So watch what happens. It took that away. So now that's clear. You see? Clear. Everywhere I tap white, it's taking it away. All of this space will now be cut out correctly, which we literally have to do this when we do t-shirts and stuff. We have to do this. So I'm taking all this white out. Before I do this one, I want to show you something else. Some of the spaces are really tiny and hard to get into, right? You can blow this up. In the top right, you have your zoom feature, zoom functions. So you can zoom in. Y'all gonna love to see my big face. Okay, so look, there's a spot right there. I need to get that one out. Here's a spot here. There was a spot under my eyebrow. Need to get that one out. Any more solid? I don't think so. I think that got everything. This comes in very handy in letters. Okay, if you're bringing in a picture that's got a white background with letters, you can tap inside of here and get rid of it. So let's preview this. So look at the difference. Now it will cut my face and not that blob. Okay. So I am uploading this. I've cleaned it up. I want to bring this in, so I'm going to say continue. Now, it is going to ask me, do you want this to be a cut image or a print then cut image? I'm going to save it as a cut image, okay? Now, over here, it lets me change the name. So I can call it Maymay Logo, okay? And I can tag it, all right? So I can tag it with logo. I can tag it with Maymay. I can tag it with trademark. Okay, why would I tag it? It helps in the search engine. Like when you've got all those categories now, if you tag it, like if you're tagging it Christmas project and you go to those search engines and type in Christmas project, it's going to pull up what you tagged. So I'm going to say continue. Okay, so it's here. It's on my screen and saved. Now if I click it and go insert image, it is now on my screen and I can work with it. I can do all the things we've been doing. So that's uploading an image. It's that easy. Okay. Now you can also upload a pattern. That's over here, pattern, if you want to. I never, ever, ever do this, but you can upload something that becomes a pattern you can print with. I don't have any patterns to show y'all, but say I wanted to upload a buffalo check pattern, okay? I can upload that so that, and I'll show you, let's say I've uploaded it, so that when I put a shape in, if I want to print out a square with a pattern in it, I can come right up here and I can change this to print, and then I can click here and I can go here to color and change it to pattern. And I happen to have a photo here of my kids that I uploaded, so I can put that in there if I want. I'll just click it. It takes it a second. So you see that? I can put that in there. Or I can put any of these built-in patterns, or I can upload a pattern. So let's just pick a pattern. We'll pick this one. So if I want to print and cut my own designer paper, or if I need some paper to match something and I don't have it, I can put it in here and make it. Pretty cool, right?
Yes.
No, you don't use that very often. I promise y'all won't use that very much. Won't be a thing too much. So that is uploads. So we've done shapes, uploads, we've done this whole section. Now let's go down here. I'm not going to be able to use this to show you this. Let's put in some shapes, because I want to show you some features. Okay, here's a cool feature. If I have all these things on my mat and I want them to distribute in a line, like I want these guys to be lined up, watch what I can do. I can grab all of these guys, and using a feature up here called Align, I can align them in the center of each other. Here's what I want you to pay attention to. Wherever this line is where it's going to send your image, okay? So if I click this one, it's going to take everything to the left-hand side. If I click this one, it's going to go to the right-hand side. I want to click the center one. So watch what happened to my images. They center up, okay? But notice how all these images are hidden, and I want them to distribute. If I go back to Align again, I have these two distribute options, so I can distribute them horizontally or vertically. I want to do it horizontally because I want them to run across. So look, here's what this did. It took my images and it put them, distributed them apart from each other. Now, how do we change this distribution? Or where does it measure from? It measures from this image to this image. Okay, so if I move this image out and grab these guys again and distribute them again, they'll move because it separates them from end to end. Now, why is this handy? Let me show you. Let's say you want to do a row of hearts. Okay, I will select all these hearts. Let me show you a way to select too. I'm going to come up here to my layers panel, and that one's grayed out. So I'm going to hold down the shift button on my keyboard and click all those hearts, and it will select just the hearts for me. All right, so I'm going to move them down here so you can see what's happening. All right, so I'm going to take my first heart and put it here, and my second heart and put it here. And now I'm going to grab all the hearts. And now I'm going to go to Align and distribute again and see what they do. Now that's kind of cute. I did not tell them to center, I just told them to distribute. They centered where they were sitting. So now I can come up here and tell them to center through the middle, and they'll do that, okay? Now they're a little bit big, so let's shrink them down. Let's move this guy out. Let's grab them all again and distribute them again. There we go. See how cute that is? I think I lost my center on that end one when I touched it, so let's center it also. So now I have this line of hearts. This really does come in handy if you're trying to like line images up or something like that. Now remember, if I say cut, they're not attached together. They're not welded or anything. They're still individual images. But if I want them to stay together, I would just select them all, and I would probably attach them. And the reason is, if you weld them together, if you open this project later and want to edit that, it's one image and you can't really get them separated. But if you attach it, you can. You'll have to play with these to see how all that works, okay? Oh, that's interesting. Look at this edit button, cut and copy. So you can copy these and cut them and things like that. All right, I've got to show you the most exciting feature they've just given us. We just got it today. It's the most exciting feature. I'm gonna go to text, type in my name, and I'm gonna show you this. This feature is called offset. It's the most exciting thing since Cricut started. At the top right here, offset. I'm gonna click the drop down. Look what just happened. On my screen, let me change the canvas color so you can see good. So you can see more better. Okay, let me go back to hue. Let me go back to offset. Okay, so on my screen, can you see that when I click offset, there's this little blue line running around my image here, running around my words? This is so awesome. I'm gonna blow it up. because I don't think you can see it. Offset. Okay, there it is, little blue lines. This is the feature that will put an offset around our image automatically. We did not have this feature until today, or till yesterday, and I'm in love with it. Now let me show you some features of it. If you click and drag this little bar, it will stretch your offset, see it stretching, or it will shrink your offset, okay? I'm gonna put this offset at 0.25. That's the default, okay? I wanna show you this. Where it has the corner or the square, if you leave it on the corner, or if you leave it on the round, like this, you get these rounded, pretty edges. If you turn it to square, you're gonna get square. See that? I don't really love the square. I like the round edges. There is a place for the square though. Like if you're doing a square and you wanna offset it and you want square edges, you have to pick the square over the curve or else you'll get curved edges. So I'm going to, I wanna show you this too. This says weld the offsets. If you turn this off, all your offsets are separate. You can see them in there. They're all separate. So I'm going to weld this. And I'm going to apply it. Now look what happens. We get two separate pieces. This is now our offset completely done automatically for us. And these are our letters, which are incredible. This is incredible. You will find out how incredible this is as you start playing. Now I'm going to grab both of these images and I want to center them back together. So I'm going to go back to align. And I'm going to do the center option and bring those back together. And now I want to show you some features down here, just one feature that we really didn't touch on, but slice. What I think is so cool is if you build this offset and you slice these apart from each other, look what happens. If I move this guy out and I move this guy out, look what we do with the slice feature. So we mix offset and slice, and look. I just think that's incredible. Like I have a video coming on this. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I have a video coming out today or tomorrow on offset, and I really go over it in more detail. But it's incredible. It's a great, great feature. All right, let's go to, what else do I want to show y'all? Bring you over and let's see. All right, we did not touch on these little buttons up here. You'll see we had group and ungroup. We did talk about grouping and ungrouping, but we didn't talk about duplicating necessarily. This is where you go if you just want to duplicate an image. You just do it like this. You also have that delete option up there.
Your microphone is twisted a little, and it's vibrant. Yeah, on your shirt.
You also have this delete feature up here, which I don't use. I just use this little X to delete, or I just hit delete on my keyboard and it works. All right, I want to show you this. To do it, I'm going to have to change these into different colors. Okay, so I'm going to go purple, green, and I want to preface by saying this. This wouldn't be the case. You wouldn't bring in a bunch of shapes in different colors necessarily, but let's say you brought in some stuff that was in different colors, but you wanted it to cut on the same mat and you didn't want to have to go back and do what I just did and change all these colors one at a time. Here's where you do that. If you come up here to color sync, it's in the top right corner up here. Click on color sync. See how all your different colors show up? Let's say I want two of these to cut in black and two of these to cut in purple. Watch what I can do. I can grab this little line and pull it up to the black, and now it makes two of them black. And I can grab this little line and pull it up to the purple, and it makes them purple. So you see what it did? It color syncs. I just wanted to show you that existed because at some point in time you may find a place to use it. And if I want all of them to cut in one color, I just pull them all up. See that? It's just a thing. You might want to use it. I think it's cool. All right, I'm looking to see if I've missed anything. I think I got all the features in, y'all. I think I got all the features. All right, so really quick, I want to hit on a couple of other features and then we'll go. I'm going to pick something. I'm going to pick you and I'm going to pick you and I'm going to insert you. All right, let's say we're ready to, let's say this is our project and we're ready to make it. I'm going to say make it, okay? You have things you can do on your mat, all right? So for example, do you see how this is going to cut all these pieces all separately? You don't have to do that. You can move these guys together. If you come up here to where your object is and you click on it and you say move object, you can move this guy to a different mat, okay? So we're on this one. Let's say we're going to move it to this one and confirm. What that does is it moves these pieces to the same mat. You'll find a place to use this. I'm not saying it's something you have to use. I just want to show you. I'm going to move another object. Oh, wait, I don't want to move that object. I want to go to this one and say I want to put it on the same mat. I'm going to move it. And I'm going to put it on that green mat with the other stuff and move it out. So you can move things from mat to mat, which we couldn't do that forever, but it's pretty cool that we can do that, okay? You'll find a place to use that. Now, let's say we want to cut his feet like 5 times and we didn't put him 5 times on the project. You can come up here and change this to 5. Oh, change it to 5 and hit apply, and it will, what does this say? This will undo your hide or move. That's okay. We'll do it that way. Now it's going to make 5 of my gnomes. It didn't make 5 of that one image. It's going to make 5 of my gnomes. And I use that feature a lot because I'll make one thing. Let me go back here. So let's say I don't really want that. I just want to make this gnome. And let's say, like for classes, I'll show y'all when we're doing a cricket class, I might need this 100 times. I'll go make it, and I'll tell this 100, which may be silly because y'all may see how long this takes because it does take a while sometimes. Wow, that wasn't so bad. So I need 100 of them, right? And here's what I love. I can look over here and see I need 4 pieces of white cardstock. And then I can count how many black pieces I'll need, how many peach pieces I'll need, how many yellow pieces. Isn't that cool? We do this when we're making kits a lot. Another thing you can do is change your material size. So if you're using like 8.5 by 11 paper, which happens to us a good bit, you can click on there and it's going to reorganize and it's going to tell you you're going to need a whole lot more paper. That's what it's going to tell you. Okay? All right, let me go to continue. I don't know how far I can go, so I don't have my machine hooked up, but let me see. Yeah, to continue, please hook your maker up. The only thing here you have to do is choose the paper you're using, and that is very easy. When you get to the cut part, you're just going to go, I'm using glitter cardstock, click on glitter cardstock. I'm using chipboard, click on chipboard. That's all you'll have to do and tell your machine what you're ready for. And when you do that, it will just walk you through the rest of the project. It's super, super easy, okay? So, we are 15 minutes into our 10 minutes into our 3-hour mark. And I'm sure you have questions. Now, I think I hit everything. There was one question I think I didn't hit that Lolly asked.
She asked,
back a while ago.
do you know the name of the Cricut font that they use to do the title art? Hashtag M9FFFA3D volleyball junkie.
All right, let me show y'all something. So she gave me the hashtag, which is associated with the image. So like, see how there's a hashtag right there? Because she did, I can type that into my search bar and search it. And this is the one she's talking about. Now, if I click this info button, it will tell me the hashtag and the image set it came from. If I click the image set, it's going to open all the images associated with it. Now, here's what I'm seeing. I was hoping I could help you find it, but it looks like this may not be a font necessarily. It probably is, but it looks like it's something that, it's not like they added a font. This is an actual cut situation. Sometimes you can actually find out the font by doing this, but today we cannot. What I would probably do is, I think there's a font finder app that you can take a picture of it and put it in and it'll find you fonts that are similar to it. I bet one of y'all know that. But it is cool to be able to go info, view image set. It's also cool to be able to have that hashtag number and be able to tell somebody, hey, look up this hashtag. Or like Lolly did, send me that hashtag and I could find exactly the image she was talking about. You can do that with your friends. You know, they all will love it.
Can you use pattern to print digital papers?
Yes, you can do that. You will upload your digital paper file to your computer, and then you will upload those patterns into Cricut like I showed you, and then they'll be available for you, so you absolutely can. Like Melody Lane has digital papers.
Early on, I think it was Michael Ann Lowry asked, can you change the size of materials for each mat? Sometimes I want to use a scrap that's not a 12 by 12.
What we have done in the past, let me see if I can show you this. This is how we kind of do it. So I was showing them how we have to do it whenever we're making for kits, and we did 100.
Yeah.
Let's just do 50. I need it to have something to populate.
When I find that random paper and we want to use it.
like, let's say I've got 12 by 12 for this and 12 by 12 for this. What I'll do is go ahead and cut these two, okay? And then it's going to move me to this one. And when it's time to do this one, I'll just do this drop down and go, oh, I only have this in 6 by 6, right? Now, here's the thing. It's going to move that black to 6 by 6, and then look. Let me go underneath it, keep going. Okay, I'm back to 12 by 12. So you can do that. You just do it at this point. So let's do it without so many images. Let's do it with just one. All right, so on this one, let's say you want to use a 4 by 6 piece of paper. There's that. And on this one, you want to use a 6 by 6. And on the next one, you know, you just keep going and changing them. The other thing you can do, like I said, is you can move these guys. Like I can move this. This is really handy if you have just scraps. I'm going to move this guy to this mat. And the reason is what I'll do is I'll put one of my scraps in the top corner. Oh, it won't let me do that anymore. Not this way anyway. I can put one scrap up here and one scrap here and not have to use multiple mats, if that makes sense. Or is it because of the way I had it? It won't let me move out of my cut space. So here's what we'll do. We'll change this to 12 by 12.
Thank you, Missy. I haven't got there yet.
We'll change that back to 12 by 12, and now I can move this down here. So when I go to cut, I'll put my black piece of paper up here, and I'll put my white piece of paper down here, and I won't have to, you know, use a whole bunch of mats.
My messy room stamper wants to know the cutting as a word, not individual letters.
Oh yeah. Okay. Text. Okay. So this font is not a good font for it, because what you're going to want to do is you're going to overlap these letters with each other to turn them into one, okay? So I'm going to find a font that I think will work better with that. So let's see. Something chunkier. Oh, this one. Okay, this will probably work. Also, probably not the best word for this. But what I will do here is I will ungroup these guys, okay? And I will bring them together and make them one word. But what you have to do is you have to overlap everything. So see how everything's kind of overlapping? Again, not the best word for this. Maybe I should move this up a little. As long as they're touching, you're fine. Okay, so there's the word text. So now, I'm going to make this big so y'all can see it. Oh, my screen's not moving now. There we go. So they're overlapping, okay? So what I'm going to do is weld them together and turn them into one image, all right? So now they are one image. And if I say make this, it will now cut it as one word, okay? So you just have to weld your letters together. Now another thing to do, and I think it's even easier to me, is just go to images and look up whatever word you're looking for. This is where I would start every time, because you might find it already done, and like this is already welded together, this is already welded together. See, they're already going to be, unless you're doing something custom, which you can be, I would look like these happy day, happy's already hooked together, day's already hooked together. Ooh, look at that one, it's beautiful. And it's already done for you. And see how it's got these ascenders? Okay, so these are called descenders. And these are called ascenders, okay? And when fonts have descenders and ascenders, it helps you to connect them better. That's an ascender, that's an ascender, that's an ascender. It helps. Anyway, all right, time for questions.
I don't, unless I accidentally missed one, I don't have any more.
Because right now they're all going, my head hurts. And they're like,
it's like overload of information.
Time has flown by. It's been 3 hours.
It has been 3 hours.
Okay, if it's not showing you the offset, did you do the update, Joe? Do you have offset as an option? Oh, I hear Ollie crying. If you want to save this video, you at the where you're watching on YouTube right now, where do you do it on YouTube? There's a place to save for later.
If you're watching on on my laptop, it has your thumbs up, thumbs down, share, and then it has the save is the next button, and you can click that and save it. But you also, however you got to this link today, you can go back to that, like your email where this came to you from, and click on that to come back to it.
Aunt Lolly, I think you're talking about this font. It's called Disney Mickey. It's not in my Access because it's a Disney. It's $6.99 for that font, but that's the one I'd used last. Sherry is sad because she can't see. I don't know why she can't see the features. Sherry, if you want to email us, maybe we can do a video call or something. And I can see what's going on with your computer. I can't do it this afternoon, but if you're okay with maybe next week, let's do a little video call and let me see what's going on. I don't understand, and I don't want you to be behind or lost.
Sherry, email me at shannon@maymaymadeit.com.
Thanks, Aunt Lolly. Please give me a thumbs up. That would be so awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed getting together with you guys. Let's do another giveaway. Let's do another $25 gift card. Let's give away another $25.
I can do it.
I hope that this video encourages you to not be afraid of your machine. The machine is not the issue. It's this.
No.
All the machine does is hold your mat and let the blade run over it. That's all it does. It's design space that can get us all held up.
All right. Our third gift card winner will be number 71, Mary Alice Landers.
Congratulations, Mary Alice Landers. I like the name Mary Alice. And I hope you go by Mary Alice because in the South, if you have two names, you go by two names.
Mary Alice.
You do. All right, guys.
What makes Mary Alice two names?
I cannot believe we squeezed all that into 3 hours, but we did. And in an effort to not let this video go any longer than 3 hours for watching later, we're going to end here. If you need me, you have access. You go shannon@maymaymadeit.com. You ask her questions. She sits across from me and goes, I have a cricket question. And I give her the answer and she types it in. And if we need to go further, we will, because I want you guys to be able to use your machine. The bonus of the Joy app, Bambi, is that it has some projects built in it that are super quick and easy projects that you can cut with your Joy without having to design anything. And I really love that. And I've got a couple of videos on the app. If you want to check out on my channel, you can do that. All right, guys. I'm going to call it so we don't stretch this video out. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here today. You need a 201? I think I'm going to do a 201, actually. I've got one in mind. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that, okay? We love you guys. Let us know if you need anything, and have a great Friday. Bye now.